Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Woo-wee! Episode 61, man. 61.
Yeah.
I don't know who has a famous number 61. That's an odd number. But episode 61 of the Dirt Life Show. Happy Monday, everybody. We are so excited to be at the Warfighter Made shop in Temecula, California. So thank you very much. I got my awesome co-host, Rob Blanton, in the studio.
It's
in
great
his
to be
studio.
here. Thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate you having us come over here, man. It was pretty awesome to see all the happy, smiling faces when you invited us to do the adrenaline therapy. And now we're sitting in the shop, dude. It doesn't get much better.
Can you stop talking to me for a minute? I'm trying to share this as a watch party right
I know.
now.
Facebook made it so difficult, dude. Like, it's really difficult to actually share it, right?
Oh, man, I can see myself.
Yep, that's cool. So, yeah, well, thank you very much for joining us on this lovely Monday night. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. And all of you guys out there on the audio as well, on iTunes, Spotify. Well, now it's on Amazon, Google Play, all those networks. You can always check us out live on Facebook at The Dirt Life Show. You can always check us out on YouTube as well. Actually, we need to build up our YouTube, so go ahead and check out YouTube and subscribe to that bad boy. I think that's the first time I've ever said it because I hate when people tell to subscribe on their vlogs. So no self-promotion here, but please go subscribe. And like I said, thank you very, very much for, well, everybody coming. I'm going to show you guys who's in the Warfighter Made shop. We'll call it the makeshift studio, but we did a pretty good job today. So we got a little audience here with us. We got a widescreen angle so you can actually see the shop. Give some love to the BFG tires that were being worked all weekend on Saturday, right?
Absolutely. And we also had sponsored athlete Rob Mac in the house, with his BFG shod Razor giving rides to family members and kids, and it was a good time.
So we got to talk about that. We're going to bring up veteran James in a little bit here, but man, that was pretty cool to have Rob Mac out at the adrenaline therapy session.
Absolutely. But also Casey Sims, who I think is out here right now. Casey, Kaden, Maddie, Wedeking, Jacob Peter, all youth racers, and all absolutely kill it for us at Adrenaline Therapy Saturdays by coming out and giving rides.
It's super cool to see all that.
And their razors,
yeah. Well, and usually their whole family comes out, right?
Oh, yeah,
and hangs out. So it's a big family atmosphere. So we'll get into that and talk about it. Let's cruise through our sponsorship thank yous. I'm going to do a little bit different today. I'm going to do the show sponsors, thank all of them, and then we're going to kick it over to you and thank all of your guys' sponsors too before we get into adrenaline therapy.
Oh, hook-a-lees.
So, thank you very much to all of our show sponsors. We really appreciate those guys, and they're giving back to you guys too. So you can use the code DIRTLIFE at all their websites. Shock Therapy, those guys did an awesome job over here on this project Winning at Life RS1 that we ended up racing at the UTV World Championship.
They also support Warfighter Made.
Yeah, they do. And unfortunately, our featured guest tonight beat me by 4 positions at the UTV World Championship. So what can I say? But we still had a good time. And like I said, thank you very much to the guys at Shock Therapy. They did a fantastic job. You can use the code DIRTLIFE or give them a call and you just tell them that the Dirt Life sent you and those guys can hook you up. Those guys do an amazing job and have so much knowledge because they go testing every day. Thank you to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products who are also involved in this Project RS1, and they just make awesome products. We talk about it all the time on the show that the elevation or the UTV market keeps growing and they're on the forefront of it, man. They make some awesome products. It's just so cool to see that. It's getting to the point where all of these things are becoming almost bulletproof,
Yeah, it is.
It's pretty badass. You have a mutual sponsor with Rugged Radios, so thank you to the guys at Rugged Radios.
Absolutely.
Ryan from KMC is not going to be able to make it tonight. We want to send our best wishes to everybody that is or may be getting evacuated in the fires in California, but thank you very much to the guys at KMC Wheels. We wish Ryan could be here, but he's making sure that he takes care of his family, so that's always important to do. More important than a dinky little show like the Dirt Life. So thank you, Ryan, for supporting the show and just being an all-around good dude, making sure everybody's cars are dialed in. He did a fantastic job at Parker this weekend, making sure that all of his racers had all the parts and all the wheels and tires that they needed. So thank you very much to him. And we also want to thank the guys at Solder Weld. I don't know if you can see the welding blanket there, but the guys at Solder Weld, always hooking us up. Lance and Vanessa and everybody over there, they're always doing such a good job making sure that you can fix or repair your ride and make it back, whether you're on the trail or out in a race. You can bond metal with their off-road repair kit. So make sure you go to solderweld.com, use the code DIRTLIFE, and get yourself one of those kits. It's basically like a first aid kit for your UTV, so you can throw it in the back and go out there and make sure that you maintain and get back to, well, like we said, your family safe. So
also a supporter of Warfighter Made.
Yeah, they're awesome dudes. So, and they make awesome hats too. So we really appreciate Lance and everybody over there. So thank you very, very much. And like I said, we really want to get interactive with you guys. We already see a ton of comments coming in, so please keep them coming in. We're going to try. We got the studio set up a little different, so we got all of our media stuff over here, so I'm going to try to read it, and my big fat head's probably Brock and Rob a little bit, but we can get as much comments in as possible and answer as many questions as possible. Tonight's show is going to be a little different, like I said, with Rob and inviting up the Warfighter James up here, and obviously we're going to have Casey Sims, coming up here to talk about not only the adrenaline therapy session, but he's going to talk about his racing program, how he grew up in the dirt, having fun, and even some special guests. We have, I don't know, we've had Kaden Danbury on the show a few times, but it's always been remote. And now he's live with us. So he's going to come up and hang out, and he's going to bring his friend. I know they were taking some funny pictures, Maddie Wedeking, up here and talk about Parker and have some fun talking about the race this weekend. It looked like it was a really dusty race, but we'll get their opinion on it and see what they actually think about it. So
I think we're going to get some excuses from Maddie. That's what I think we're going to get, yeah.
So we'll have to see. You know, it's always fun to talk and see the racers' mentality. Like, are they positive after the race? Or did they throw their helmet? Are they pissed off? Like, so we're going to have some serious talk with them.
Well, hopefully none of the racers that Warfighter Made has done a mentorship program would ever like get upset and throw their helmet, because it's always about positivity and having fun. So
I agree 100%. We try to send that same vibe to everybody that's on the show. So we're going to get them up here in a little bit and just see how the Parker race was. And we want to make sure that everybody knows that there was a couple accidents this weekend, one in a trophy truck and also one in a UTV, one with your buddy Al Macbeth, that he went for a long-distance jump record. So we want to send our best wishes to him. You know, we know that he walked away, but it's still – there's going to be underlying issues, so we want to send our best to him.
Absolutely, to our boy Al. Al always invites Warfighter Made out every year to hang out with him in Canada. This year we foregoed it because of COVID.
Yeah, 2020.
And the 2020. And but Al, we're pulling for you. We know you're okay. Shot you a text last night. You responded back that, hey, everything's good. We got the Vietnam tribute razor behind us with your cage on it. So we really, we're pulling for you. And the same with Jason Voss.
Yeah. Jason Voss. I read some stuff on Instagram today. I didn't have any direct communication with him. I don't know if you did, but he had to have surgery, I think, on his arm or his shoulder or something. But best wishes to him as well. And thank you to his team for letting everybody know what was going on and that everybody was okay, because everybody was super concerned. So we're glad that everybody walked away from that stuff. Off-road racing is very, very dangerous, and we really appreciate all the safety stuff. Rob is a huge proponent of safety, as well as myself, so I'm glad those guys are doing good. All right, so let's dig into the show, man. One of the things that you invited me to do, or you've been trying to get me to come out and do, is the adrenaline therapy sessions that you have for all the veterans. And, I saw all the pictures and stuff that you've done on social media in the past. It looked fantastic, but when I got to see it live, it was 10 times better.
It's just like, when Mike Gardner, a good friend of ours, has always been a supporter of Warfighter Made. And when he finally came to the Warfighter Made facility here in Temecula, he was just like, oh my God. I mean, I knew what you guys did, but I had no idea until I came here and actually saw it firsthand. It's the same with Adrenaline Therapy Saturday. You see the pictures of the videos that we post online or that our supporters post online, but you really don't get the idea of it until you actually physically come out and participate. And that's really what we're trying to do. So veterans, all vets, all branches, all eras. I say it all the time. We're looking for our Vietnam vets. It's time for our generation of warfighter to give back to our Vietnam veterans. So Vietnam vets, we've already had a bunch come out, George Earl, Bob Bauer. And I mean, we want more, and we want them to either, come just to hang out and tell war stories with other veterans, or actually get behind the wheel, cruise around. George Earl don't mess around. He gets in there and he's airing it out.
Yeah.
Bob Bauer, it loves to come and just talk with other veterans, help them get their harnesses on and all that stuff. So, we are trying to get the word out that Adrenaline Therapy Saturday, all vets, all branches, all eras, the veteran gets to sit behind the wheel of these Polaris Razors, and we put you on the relative safety of an off-road track. We're using Wreck Fence Off-Road Park in Anza, California.
That place was actually pretty cool.
Great facility.
Rob Mac and I talked about it. We're like, dude, we could have a good practice track in our backyard if we had this place. Great
facility. And what's really cool about that Wreck Fence is the track, as they originally had it set up, wasn't really conducive to the safety aspect that we wanted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they went out there with a dozer and cut a new track for us just so we can keep everybody in view at all times. And so Wreck Fence Off-Road Park in Anza, California, you can find them on Facebook. Check them out. When Warfighter Made goes out there, we get sole use on that Saturday, but on the weekends you can go out there, and I think it's a nominal fee. You pay $30 or something like that, $40, whatever it is, and you can ride on that track all day long. So check them out, Wreck Fence Off-Road Park on Facebook.
The place is actually pretty cool. And it's pretty safe too, considering what it is, especially for side-by-side. It's got nice, long, gradual lips and stuff on those jumps. So you said a lot of stuff there, but let's backtrack real quick and give me the Cliff's Notes of what Warfighter actually does for some of the people that don't know in our audience.
So Warfighter Made basically provides recreational therapy for ill, injured, and combat wounded service members and veterans. And we do that in a number of ways. The foremost way is we adapt and customize a catastrophically wounded warfighter's vehicle free of charge.
Yep.
We have a whole bunch of vehicles on the wall up here that we've built, anything from motorcycles to side-by-sides to Jeeps to Challengers. We've done it all, and we enjoy doing it. We're currently building a 67 Camaro for a combat wounded single leg amputee. We've been building that vehicle for a long time. Hopefully it's going to be done here this year. And, it's our passion. It's what we like doing.
Yeah, well, some of the projects that you get to do are pretty fulfilling as well. And then, once you get to see, we'll talk about it again when we talk about a little bit more of the actual adrenaline therapy, seeing the smile on their faces. A lot of people actually get that same feeling when they come to the shop and just work, because they're not sitting at home thinking about the stuff that they have and, bad emotions and stuff like that. They get to come to the shop and just be boys with everybody.
Absolutely, and that's what we call camaraderie therapy, which is another thing that we provide here. At the Warfighter Made facility, we have 4,000 square feet. It's all about adapting and customizing or building the vehicles for our catastrophically wounded brothers and sisters, or it's maintaining our fleet of therapy razors for the next Adrenaline Therapy Saturday. Every vet that walks through the doors here at Warfighter Made, we know that you might not be mechanically inclined, or working on vehicles isn't really your thing. But, a lot of guys just come here and they hang out, and, it's really like being back in a team, a squad, a platoon, a section, whatever branch you came from. And, we just kind of playfully, sarcastically mess with each other, and it's like being a part of the military again.
I know one of the coolest things is no matter what, nobody gets any slack around here. You still gotta hold your weight, and you get to be messed with big time. So
absolutely,
I saw a lot of that same camaraderie and that same aspect out there on the track. When you're out on the track, you can't give any room. You can't give an inch to the next racer, right? Well, these guys learn that that's kind of what you deal with when you're at the adrenaline therapy stuff, because there's some guys that were out there that were good drivers, like obviously the professionals that you invite out, like Rob Mac, Casey, Kaden, and Maddie, everybody that comes out. But there was some of those guys, once they saw that speed, they were like, I'm doing it. Let's go, hammer down.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys were like, whoa, slow down. But yeah, it's it's Adrenaline Therapy Saturdays. Part of the safety brief is absolutely no racing because it's not a competition.
Right.
We're out there to have fun. The adrenaline aspect of it is trying to instill the adrenaline into that veteran that a lot of us miss once we separate from the military. We just don't get that rush anymore. So, for a lot of guys being brand new to a side-by-side, getting out on the track, hitting their very first jump or, kind of getting a little crossed up, going around one of the corners, it's exhilarating. And, me and Danny Navoa of Warfighter Made, we get to do it on a regular basis, and it's really one of the things that I truly enjoy.
How often do you have it then? Every month or two?
Well, we have Adrenaline Therapy Saturdays are 6 times a year.
Okay.
Right. And I'm also really stoked to announce that BF Goodrich Tires signed on for another year of Adrenaline Therapy. So Adrenaline Therapy Saturday sponsored by BFG. And, we're going to have six dates for 2021. So you'll be able to go to warfightermade.org/events or find the events tab. And as we continue to solidify those dates, they'll all be up there. You click on the link for the date and it'll take you to the register portion, and then you'll go ahead and sign the waiver. And then when you get to the track, it's just get a band on and sit through the safety brief and get ready to have some fun.
And I usually just see at Warfighter Made on Instagram, and then I'll see it, and then I'll go to the website and check it out, so people can do that too. So, all right, we're going to bring James up right now and have him come hang out with us. But while he's getting situated, let's go through some of these comments, man. So one of our buddies, Jeff Angel, said, "Is that pizza?" Yeah, so it is a little different set. We had some fun eating some tacos and some pizza, Jeff. So it was good times over here at the studio. So the makeshift studio.
Look at Danny Navoa rubbing it in. Pizza was good.
Yeah, pizza was definitely good, right? And then we have, somebody said that they saw Al's crash in person. Man, that must have been really scary. Oh, it was Jeff too. The Vanderloo boys said Warfighter Made rocks.
What's up, Blake?
So thank you guys very much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And Tony Bartell? He said he can't wait for the next Warfighter Made Adrenaline Therapy session.
Yeah, we got to make sure that Tony goes easy on the drinking, because we're told that Tony becomes a totally different person when he gets on the sauce. He's a vet himself. So,
oh yeah,
we got our eye on you, Tony.
And then John said, huge thank you for what you do, and it really is phenomenal what you guys do, man. The smile on everybody's faces when they got out of the cars was just so cool. So James, thank you very much for joining us tonight, dude. I really appreciate it. But I want to say thank you very much for showing me how ballsy you guys get when you go to these adrenaline therapy sessions, man. That was cool.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity. Rob, putting something on like that for us is just incredible. Again, it was life-changing, not only for myself, but also for my daughter. She's 3 years old, and she just turned 3 last month. And to have her out there was an incredible feeling.
So I want James to kind of give us a little backstory on him real quick. But
yeah, let's do it.
I just got to say real fast that having James come out with his 3-year-old daughter, and then a couple of the Warfighter Made safety personnel came up to me and said, "Hey, James wants to put his daughter in a car with Casey Sims. Is that okay?" And I'm like, "With Casey, absolutely. That is okay." They went around the course. We told everybody that was getting ready to go on behind them that there's going to be a slow-moving vehicle on the course. And, according to Casey, they were going to go do one lap, come back in. And after he did that one lap, she gave him a look like, "What, that's it? Get back out there. Let's do this." And, man, she must have gone around a bunch of times. And then she was able to get in the car with you, and you took her for a ride also, right?
Incredible feeling, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
James, tell us a little bit about your backstory. Tell us, like, where you're from, what branch you served in, who you served with, the deployment you were doing, how you became injured. Start at the very beginning.
Yeah. Originally from San Antonio, Texas. Joined the Marine Corps right after high school. 2 deployments to Afghanistan back-to-back, 2009 and 11. My second deployment, I stepped on an IED on a foot patrol. Recovered, came back to San Diego, started recovering here. Was walking in 3 months, running in 6 months.
Dude, that's pretty bitching right there.
Yeah. The technology nowadays obviously gets us going, up and going again. And, thanks to your prosthetics, it's been a great feeling.
It's pretty cool. So, when you got back, like when you got injured and you came back, like we always talk about this, and I've been hurt a bunch of times. I've never been in war in any type of service, but I feel like the mentality when you get back is you're missing something, right? Like you don't have what you're used to. You miss the camaraderie of all your boys, and you miss the direction and the straight focus that you had for so many years. And then how does that translate into the stuff that Rob's doing when he has the Warfighter Made Adrenaline Therapy sessions?
So immediately getting out there, you first get there, you go to the tent, you check in. But not only that, you see other amputees, and so you already understand, hey, these are brothers. They've obviously been the same place I've been, and and starting out is just a great feeling. So you go and you engage with them, you immediately start getting that feeling of like, hey, these are our brothers again. This is great, and so the camaraderie immediately kicks in. We can start joking, and then all of the helping of each other out without even really getting to know each other. It's just all right there as soon as we get in contact with each other. So
it really makes a big difference too when you have that, because I know that when I go to certain places, and in fact at the adrenaline therapy session, seeing so many badasses walking around, like I was a little intimidated, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, these guys are like just getting back to what they really want to do. Like maybe this is their first session, maybe it's their 10th session, whatever it is, but they're out here doing it. And I'm walking around with a limp as well, but I respect them more than they would even know. Like when I look at them and I see them doing this, because I've been living my dirt life my whole life, right? And they're out there maybe for the first time, and you're like, holy cow, these guys have, well, first of all, more cojones than most people, and they're out here supporting each other.
Yeah, but it's never about a competition or who's more injured or this. The reality of it is we're all family.
Right.
No matter what. I mean, if we're at any event, if it's a Warfighter Made event or another organization's event, if you're there, we're all family, and you're never looking at somebody that. Usually the guys with the really bad attitudes that want people to know that they're injured or get upset because people aren't paying attention to them are not really the guys that will come out and hang out with other vets, because other vets will be the first one to tune them up and be like, knock that crap off. You're in the wrong spot if you want to be like that. So
very true, very true. And it's just as soon as we get to when I first got there, I immediately met another Marine, Iraq veteran, and so immediately we started exchanging stories, and it just felt nice. It felt great, and we went out and together, got onto the razors. It was my first time ever being on a razor, and so to have that experience and then to also be with a brother, it was just an incredible feeling.
And your daughter too.
Yeah, my daughter. It was the top, cherry on the top with my daughter.
And again, for Warfighter Made, it's super important to involve the families, because there's a lot of great organizations that are out there helping vets, but sometimes the focus is the vet.
Right.
And I know from firsthand when I was going through all my stuff, and my wife was an active duty Marine when I was going through all my stuff, that she was suffering just as bad as I was, because she's looking at me going through all my turmoils and everything. She wants to help. She's not 100% sure how to help. And I can tell every time I look at her, she just wants to tell me to suck it up and, get over myself or whatever the case may be. But that's not always the answer.
Right.
And, sometimes, you wish you could say that to somebody and it would just click and they'd be like, oh yeah, you're right. I do have to suck it up and get over myself, but it doesn't always work that way. So we really want to get the families involved, to show them, first of all, show them that they're appreciated. Let them know that we understand what they're going through. We know that their warfighters' recovery is just as important to them as it is to the warfighter. And so we're here to support the family as well, to make sure that, it's just everyone can kind of breathe that sigh of relief and continue to take on the next obstacle or the next hurdle.
Yeah. And honestly, man, like the best part about it is we can talk about this for so many days, like all of the stuff that people go through and what they feel like. But the end result with the smiles on their faces is it's worth every single ounce of effort that it takes for people to get out there.
I say it all the time. When we were on Monster Energy Supercross, doing the Toyota build, we got to we got to take all of our Polaris out to the Pepper Tree track owned by Costa out in Anza, and we had a bunch of injured warfighters out there driving them. And one of my favorite quotes, and was a quote that producer Pam, our dear friend, used that produced that whole show, was, when these guys take off their helmets, tell me the first thing that you see. And as soon as that helmet comes off, it's that big old smile, because they just did something that they're not accustomed to doing, and it gives them that little bit of adrenaline, and it feels good.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe something that they missed in the past as well. Did you get to ride with Rob MacCachren?
Definitely.
You
Yes.
did?
Yes.
How'd you feel when you did that?
It was fast, it was loud, and it was vicious. So it was everything that I was looking for, and then some.
So I was thinking about it on the way home when we were driving, because we have 45 minutes or so to drive from Anza back to Temecula, and I was thinking, because he goes, I forgot to connect the sway bar. And I go, oh, you really forgot to connect the sway bar? Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Him doing those three-wheel motions going around that Daytona corner was probably the best part of it all.
If I don't know if you got to ride with him, but if you got to ride with him, that was the coolest looking part, like when he was going around that Daytona corner. But the best corners were the ones that were down at the bottom in the back, because he'd drop off and the car was unweighted, so you'd fall on the side that had all the weight on it, because there was no sway bar connected, and those corners were sharp. So there was a couple times when, I'm sure he did it with James and with all the other vets, he was like riding the bicycle like they do on those YouTube videos, just riding on two wheels through some of those corners, man. It was pretty, and he would come real close to the edge just to give you a little bit of pucker effect.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. Rob's girl Amber came up to me and she's like, hey, you got to go for a ride. And I was like, no, I'm absolutely not doing it. I am too much of a control freak.
Yep.
I mean, Rob MacCachren is a professional. He's one of the most winningest drivers in off-road. He's won every major race in the world, and I don't want to look like a sissy in front of him by screaming, slow down, don't do this, whatever. I yell at Danny enough when Danny's driving, and I have to be his co-dog. So, yeah, I'm a horrible right-seater. Horrible.
So, I think it was cool to have him out there, though, and Casey could get the opportunity to ride with him, and whoever else is out there could get the opportunity to ride with him. Those types of situations are priceless as well. So even if you're a normal civilian, getting to ride with him, like when I got to ride with him, I noticed things that I've never done in a race car that he does. He hardly ever moves. Everything is really consistent and slow. And he's already thinking like probably 10 seconds past where my brain would ever go. So that type of person to be able to come out and show all of the, veterans is perfect.
And the best way that I could describe it too, because not every veteran that comes out to Adrenaline Therapy Saturday is into off-road. Rob Mac being at ATS is like, for the Marines, it's like Chesty Puller showing up to speak at your unit, right? Yep. I mean, it's just he's up there. For the Army, it's like Roy Benavides, the Medal of Honor recipient, Special Forces guy. He's passed away, rest in peace. But having someone like that come and speak to your unit or participate in your unit event, that's the quality. When we're saying that Rob Mack came, that's the type of person that he is in the off-road world. And for you guys to sit, right seat with him and he's just driving. I
think we should give you a pat on the back too for getting him out there, man. Thank you for doing that, because everybody benefited from that. So while we're still talking about this, there's a couple people that chimed in, and Harley Sipes, he was getting at me. He said, "Pizza, no tacos. Who are you?" Well, there is some tacos over there, bud, and they're from a really, really good place here in Temecula. So
Danny, show the tacos real quick.
Yeah, check them out, bud. So there are some tacos in the studio. Danny can show you them right here. But anyways. Andrew Mines says, "Love you, Rob." So,
nice, Vanna.
Check out all of Danny's meat right there.
That's a lot of meat.
Yep. So we did get some tacos, and let's see here. John says, like the Irish say, there are strangers, just friends you haven't met yet. So, did I read that right? Like the Irish say, there are no strangers, just friends that you haven't met yet. So. I met a whole bunch of new friends this weekend, man. So thank you for having me out.
I'm looking at that right there. Albert Gonzalez. Heck yeah, I love seeing the awesome work Warfighter Made is doing.
Yep.
Can't wait to visit Cali.
A.K.A. Gonzo.
So I'm a little...
You were a good co-driver in Iraq is what he also said. So did he serve with you?
Yeah. Yeah. Gonzo was... I spent more time with Gonzo. He was a Motor T mechanic. In my platoon, we had a 7-ton truck, and we needed a driver for that. And Gonzo rogered up. And for our 7-month deployment in Iraq, Gonzo and he drove. I sat co-dog for him.
Nice.
And Gonzo was with me when we had when our platoon was ambushed, and we lost Mike Fursky. And in that whole deal, Gonzo did a number of things. The first thing he did is he alerted the platoon, his platoon, to there was actually an insurgent that was surrendering within the building, and we were able to basically direct fire away from that guy. We were able to bring him to us, and we were able to capture a guy. And then also when we were in the midst of all hell breaking loose, I was outside the vehicle. I jumped back in the vehicle, and I was basically saying, Gonzo, this truck, that wall, go. And I couldn't even finish the sentence. He was locking all the axles, and we were pushing through, and we hit that wall, and it caused the building to collapse, which really quieted down the insurgents that were coming after us. And then as we were backing out of the building, a guy wearing a suicide vest come running out from another, it was kind of an L-shaped type building. Dude come running out, jumped on our vehicle, was trying to make entry onto Gonzo's side, and a couple of our brothers in the platoon saw that, started to engage that insurgent, and he realized he wasn't going to make it, so he detonated himself on the side of the truck, which then disabled the truck. So, a lot of intensity in that whole thing. Gonzo, I effing love you, man.
Well, so those things are really, really. Every time you tell me these stories, like it's gut wrenching, but it's also heroic at the same time, right? So when I hear these stories, I actually have to put it into a real life qualification now, because those stories are meaningful. Some are sad, some are energetic, whatever they are, right? But you see all of that same mentality come out when you do these off-road events and you do these adrenaline therapy. You see all of those people that come out, and I told you a couple days ago, they respect life more than anything. It is so cool for them to come out because they appreciate every second that they're on that track, because it could be the last time that they do it in their head, because they've seen so much, just like what you explained.
Gonzo just replied back, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah, so it's good to see that camaraderie, man. So the rooms get a little heavy, like you told me on that show in Tucson, Arizona, bud. So we appreciate you sharing that story with us,
All right,
Rob.
we're shaking it off. Loosey-goosey. Loosey-goosey.
Let it out.
All right, here we go.
Let's talk a little bit more about the adrenaline therapy, James, and maybe you can give us your favorite part. Oh, well, second favorite part, because the tacos were your favorite, right?
Actually, the first was see my daughter get out there and take a ride with Casey. Just an opportunity. Felt very honored that she had that privilege. So definitely.
I still don't know how they got a helmet that fit her, man.
It didn't fit her. It was about 2-3 times her size, but we made it work. She did a great job of.
That was the
calm.
best fitting helmet ever.
Yeah,
that thing fit her so good,
so snug. Yeah, she was almost too snug. So
the first time she went driving by at like 5 miles an hour, I thought she was sitting in like a Bumbo or something like that. I'm like, what? Whatever. All right.
How many extra pads did you have to put on the seat to
we
get
had
her
a couple
up there?
in there. We had a couple in there, but it worked out. She remained calm, and
could she see over the dash?
She did, actually. Yeah, surprisingly, she was able to see, and she had a great time.
Just getting the feeling of side to side, the G forces and stuff hitting some of those jumps must have been phenomenal for her.
Right. Well,
no.
I was like, Casey did a great job of taking her around and showing her a good time. So,
yeah.
Aside from that, obviously getting into it, and taking my first ramp at full throttle, full send. It was nice. Hopefully, I got off the ground. I mean, they say, you might feel like if you're full send, but it may not be the case. But
no, you did. You were doing real good.
Yeah.
Especially towards the end there.
Right.
So we got a lot of video over the whole event, and I'm going to post some stuff in just a little bit here, maybe in the next couple of days, so you guys can all watch yourself. It's pretty cool, man.
I'll be excited to see. Again, no footage, but taking all those ramps and then the speed. Obviously, the speed, and then the power behind it. The heart starts racing. The blood starts pumping, that the feeling comes back, and like we were saying towards the end, I was definitely on top of the clouds, and full throttle.
So here's a challenge from me to you.
Okay.
You and I met through our brother Cody Elliott.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Now next Adrenaline Therapy Saturday, I need you to bring a brother, a veteran, with you to that event and introduce them to the stoke that is off road, that is the dirt life.
Yep.
And, let's have some fun. Introduce that, and then I'll challenge that person to bring somebody, and so on and so forth.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I've not only that, we have a special guest. Cody Elliott will be appearing. He's coming in from Brazil, and so
nice.
he'll be here with us, as well as Army National Guard veteran. He's an AK, lost his leg, motorcycle accident. Uh-huh. So I'm definitely already onto that challenge,
nice.
As well as I'm really going to try to bring a Vietnam veteran out as well. And that would just be, maybe he gets in, maybe he doesn't, but I think just him being around all of us is going to be a solid day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Super cool, man. And so veterans paying it forward to other veterans, right?
Yeah.
What was the conversation on the way home with your daughter?
She was out in about 4 minutes.
Oh, really? Did she, when she woke up, was she just nonstop talking about it?
It was excitement, yeah. She just wanted to watch the pictures. She wanted to see the video, and we just kept playing it over and over and over again.
That's what we call the adrenaline dump. You get that adrenaline dump, and you're just tired.
The 3-year-old adrenaline dump?
Yeah.
Since then, she's convinced my wife to get her a Razor 170. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we're on the shopping for it, and we'll see how it comes out.
That's awesome. Pretty awesome, man. Yeah. Some of the people here, I don't know if you have met everybody that's here, but Kaden Danbury knows a lot about those 170s, too. Okay. So you can ask some of the people
I'll
here.
I'll definitely be asking. Yes.
And our featured guest, Casey Sims, he's obviously knows about the 170s, too. So
we talked a little bit about it, so I'm excited.
Awesome.
Right on, man. Well, thank you very much for coming up here. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I had a great time with all you guys at the Adrenaline Therapy sessions.
Same here. Looking forward to it. And for the next one, November 14th.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. Now he's going to be living his dirt life even harder, huh?
Yeah, November 14th.
Thanks, James.
November 14th is Warfighter Made's Adrenaline Therapy Saturday, sponsored by BFG at Rec Fence Off-Road Park.
Dude, again, that's going to be pretty cool. Do you have any plans to update the track at all, or are they just going to leave it the same?
If we can basically, if we see something that needs to be done, then there's no doubt that they'd go out there and make some adjustments. But right now, we have it dialed the way we want it. We know where all the flag workers are supposed to be. It's about going out there and having fun.
We're going to go to commercial break in just a second, but before we sign off, was there any incidents out there at the Warfighter Made Adrenaline Therapy session?
Just Marine veteran Jen during driver's training threw it on her side. I heard Miranda, another Marine veteran, might have been involved in that. At least that's what Danny Navoa says.
So we should actually preface what they're doing. So they're doing laps on the course, but before that, they have to make sure that they successfully go through a little bit of a training where they're doing a slalom course and on the side. It's
basically introduction to Polaris Razor 101.
Right.
You get in it, you understand, basically how to shift it into high, where the 4x4 button is at.
Right.
And then they do an acceleration test to a braking test. They go through a slalom, and then they go check the center of gravity of the vehicle by pulling it up onto the side of a bankment. And that's basically it. It's just, basic showing you how to control a Polaris Razor. And then once that's done and everybody's ready, then we start turning you onto the track and you start turning laps.
You can go rip, and then, like James said, send it.
You can send it. If you have the ability, you can send it. But we're always real cautious about, this stuff's a lot of fun, but it's also, it can be dangerous.
Right.
And it's tough for, some vets come out there and they don't understand their ability. I mean, these Polaris Razors are so good, they make you feel like you're
like
a
you
hero.
can do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, right when you start feeling comfortable and you start getting aggressive with that machine will let you know that, no, too much.
Yep.
You overstepped your bounds, and now you're on your side, or whatever the case may be. So, so that's why the Warfighter Made safety personnel are out there to try and calm people down. Especially as the day wears on and everybody's feeling more and more comfortable. It's like, hey, you're doing good. You got a lot of air on that one, but you don't need to back it into that corner and just roost all the corner workers and everything like that. It's not about that.
We got some pretty good footage of people throwing roosts, backing it into. So
if you want to do the roost stuff, that's when you get into the machine with Casey Sims, Maddie Wedeking, Jacob
Rob.
Peter, Kaden Danbury. Get in with them and let them have show you what that's about. They've got the experience on that.
That's cool. We already had Tony Bartel said his kid races 170s. Would love to answer any questions. So it's awesome that people are paying attention and seeing it. Man, thank you so much for inviting me out, Rob, and having everybody come out. It was such a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming. It's important to show our friends and everybody part of the dirt life that this is what we're doing and this is how an organization supports vets.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. So again, like they said on the comments here, thank you for everything that you do and thank you for your service. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in about 4.5 minutes.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hop lock, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We are back. Thank you guys very much for giving us some time to move the pizza out of the way so that you guys only see tacos in the shop from now on.
Tacos.
We have Maddie Wedeking and Kaden Danbury on set now. They are going to play. Kaden's going to be the host, and Maddie's going to play against Rob. I have a feeling that I already know who's going to win this. I'm sorry, Rob, but
Wait a minute. What are we
Wait, we're voting for Rob?
We're going to do Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader? So this has been a pretty big success in the off-road scene, mostly because most of us aren't smarter than third graders.
Well, hold on a minute. Let's Kelsey Fitza is asking a question, and it says, what machines do you offer vets at ATS? Are there modifications to any of the machines to meet the needs?
That's actually a really good question.
Yeah, so absolutely. Thanks, Kelsey. That's actually my little sister, by the way, and her husband does the modifications to the hand controls to some of the machines. So yeah, Warfighter Made. We have a hand control razor. It's our own design. It's basically a pull push, pull back for gas, push for brake design.
Similar to what you would use in a street car? Well,
sometimes street cars they're what's called a 90 for gas and push in for brake. So it's kind of like it's a suspended control handle. Your arm is suspended up in the air. We looked at that. We had one of our machines, Desert Works installed built Warfighter Made a razor back in the day, and they put hand controls on it for us. And we were able to learn from that machine that there were a couple of things that could be done better. Yeah. And so our system is mounted to the ground. The control shaft comes up from the deck, and you can rest your arm on your leg or on the seat or whatever, and it is all your control is from basically right here.
Yeah, so it's better because there's so many different injuries, so that these people can use it.
And this particular design, it can be used by people who prefer right-hand controls. It can be used by people who prefer left-hand controls. And if you have no injury, able-bodied individuals can jump in there and operate it as normal as well.
Super cool. Yeah, thanks for the question, Kelsey.
Thanks,
we really
Kelsey.
appreciate it. All right, so for anybody that hasn't seen or listened to Kaden's show, you can look through our archives, and Kaden has a pretty awesome show. He's taught us a lot because he's so much smarter than we are. And as well as Maddie. Maddie is a very, very smart individual, but she's a female racer too. So actually,
does that just make her automatically not smart? I mean, why'd you have to?
No, it makes me smart.
Why'd you have to lead into it that way?
Because I don't want everybody thinking that we're really like super, super dumb, Rob. Like I want to give everybody the understanding that these people are so smart that they're going to beat us anyways. Like set the bar real low.
Oh, okay. All right. Are you ready?
Hey, you know what though?
I like the confidence level, Kaden.
So I talked to Maddie a little bit about some of the stuff that she did earlier. I think we should get her on the show, man.
I agree.
Like get her featured story.
Yes.
That would be pretty
100%.
cool.
Let's
maybe
do
we'll
it.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it like later this year. Like we're booked for a couple months, but maybe in December sometime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
works for me.
that'll be pretty cool. All right, Kaden. So we've done Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader, and you hosted it out at the UTV World Championships. What did you think about those sessions that we did? And if you haven't seen them, you guys can go on our YouTube channel and check it out. What did you think about the reactions that you got from the individuals that played?
They were good. Some of them.
Put the mic a little closer to your mouth, please.
Some people were really nervous for it, and Maddie's nervous. I can tell.
Yeah, I don't think I'm smarter than a third grader.
She's trying to get questions. I told her not.
Oh, she's trying to get those secrets?
Oh,
Yeah,
I did.
me and Casey. He's trying to get those questions too.
just
They're
like
all
in
nervous.
school, Maddie was a cheater.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Think smarter, not harder, people.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so why don't we do it kind of like we did at the UTV World Championships? We'll do 5 questions so that whoever gets 3 is obviously going to be the winner. And then if there's a tie, we'll just do a sudden death. How about that? So I might even jump in and answer one of these questions and steal it from you guys if you're taking too long.
Well, wait a minute. Who came up with these questions?
The man himself, Kaden
right.
Danbury.
All right, I just want to make sure it's fair.
Do we
I
get to
have no-
Google it?
Dude, I came up with my own questions when I did it at the Lucas races, and I still didn't know the answers when I asked them. So don't look at me like I'm going to beat you guys, because there's hardly any way that's going to happen.
All right.
All right, so what's the first question, Kaden?
How many bones do a shark have?
Ooh, that's a really good one.
256.
Hey, so let's
I'm not even going to guess.
that brings up a good point. Let's make a little bit of a bend to the rules. You got to say your name as your buzzer. So say Maddie if you're going to answer it, okay?
Okay.
So let's start over again, Kaden. Let's give him another question because I don't think anybody's going to get that one.
Did I get it right, though?
No.
No. There's 0.
Oh, there. Oh.
Did you know the answer, Rob?
Wait a minute.
It's 0.
What is? Whoa!
A shark is just like cartilage, right?
What is a shark's teeth attached to?
It's just
Bones.
all cartilage, right? Yeah, I'm pretty
Come
sure.
on, third grader. You're...
What are you looking behind you for?
I'm pretty sure it's like cartilage and
All
stuff.
right.
So
All right. Okay. Anybody out there watching?
yeah, please tell us
Google
what
it. Let us know what's up.
what's a shark made out of? Is it just like rubber? It's a BF Goodrich rubber
Blubber.
tires. Blubber.
I think it's blubber.
All right, Kaden. Let's start from 0 again. Don't forget your name is your buzzer.
All right. Which country did Justin Bieber come from?
Rob,
Oh, go for it, Rob.
I'm a believer.
Are you
Canada.
really? Oh, I don't think you said that in front of all your Warfighter guys, man. They're gonna give you so much shit.
Your manliness level
Bring
just
it.
went down a couple notches.
Oh, great. Oh, man. I got to make sure I can adjust these camera angles to see the audience laughing at you, dude.
What is the largest continent?
Ooh, this is a good one, too.
Oh, Maddie. Asia.
Correct.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Go me, go
It's
me.
a
It is
tie.
tied. It is tied.
Tied.
So if this considered a race, you guys whole shot going in the first corner at the same time, man.
Who's going to roll first?
Uh-oh. Who's going to back out first is the question. All right. What's the next question, Kaden?
What do you get whenever you boil water?
Oh,
Rob.
Maddie. Oh.
Rob got it.
Steam.
Correct.
It looks like Rob beat you to the first turn. You're gonna have to pass him before you get into too much dust.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
so
because we know you can't drive in dust.
but
Yeah, apparently not.
There's no pressure added to this either because if Rob gets one more right, then that eliminates you. So you got to make sure that you get this next one right. It's
That's
like
a lot of pressure.
yeah.
Maddie, maybe quit trying to hit the invisible buzzer on the
I
table.
do. I
Just
keep
say
on-
your name, girl.
We should have a buzzer so I can press it, and it should be right here.
Just say your name.
All right, Kaden, give him a good one.
All right. Who invented the telephone?
Rob. Alexander Graham Bell.
Correct.
That's not fair. He was alive when they invented the telephone.
I knew that was coming.
That was a good rebuttal. I think she might have won just by
Yeah,
saying
whatever.
that.
All right, I'll give it to her. Whatever. That's good.
So, do you want to go maybe a couple more questions just to give Maddie a little bit more of a chance, Kaden?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, but let's do it quick.
All right. What movie did Frank the Tank?
Rob.
No way.
He didn't finish.
Maybe what we should do is get it like, because I know Rob's going to get this one. Maybe what we should do is ask like a pretty hard question for double points. Give Maddie a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
It's old,
Something like more recent that he wouldn't know.
It's old school.
We're going streaking through the quad into the gymnasium.
Hey, honey, is KFC open?
So we already got Tony Bartel said this category also includes rays, sawfish, or maybe starfish, and skates. They're I don't even know how to say this word, cartilaginous skeletons are much lighter and than true bones. So they're large livers. Oh, man, he goes way too far into it. But
He really knows his stuff.
I thought, I don't understand where that came from because I thought it was cartilage. Maybe there's something that in my brain that still works.
I guess so.
All right, Kaden.
You're my boy, Blue.
Yep.
All right.
This question's got to be for triple points, though, because Rob's up 3.
I know.
So no added pressure at all.
I gotta think.
How many holes are at a golf course?
Oh, my God.
Maddie. 18?
Correct.
She just answered, even though her name came after yours. She still stole it and answered. All right, let's do one more question for the win, Kaden. So whoever gets this last question gets the victory.
What movie character said, "If you ain't first, you're last"?
Maddie. Talladega Nights. That's Will Ferrell.
She stole it again, dude.
The character was Ricky Bobby.
Well, you didn't know.
That was the question.
Oh, God. Okay, whatever.
Here we go.
What was the question?
Someone
Say
just
the
bought
que-
her I stole the show here.
Kaden, repeat the question.
What character said, "If you ain't first, you're last"?
Damn, it
Character.
wasn't actor.
Yeah.
Wrong answer. Whatever.
That's right. I'm going to take it out on your dad tomorrow.
So, well, good job, guys. We really appreciate you guys participating. I'm going to have to say that you guys tied. That's just my opinion.
Whatever makes Blondie over here feel better.
I feel good about myself, so it's fine.
Uh-oh. It's like a father-daughter relationship over here.
It is.
So,
It might as well be.
all right, let's start talking about this last weekend's race. Well, just 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Yesterday. Well, actually, yes. It was a 2-day race. They had a race on, Friday, and a race on Saturday.
So the kids, I believe, raced Friday, but then Saturday and Sunday was.
Oh, it was Saturday
when I
and Sunday.
raced.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So, well, then, since we're talking about the kids racing first, let's talk about how you did on Friday, Kaden, at Parker.
Yeah, I did good. I ended up getting a good start. The dust was really
What
bad.
class were you racing first?
Youth 1000. They restricted the air on the car, so it went a little slower.
Was there a lot of dudes in your class?
I think there's like 12 or 10 around that.
That's pretty good, man, especially for such a big desert race, right?
Yeah, it was hard because they put us on a 2-mile course, and there's so many cars that it just all the dust. You couldn't tell like where the track was half of the time because it's just all dust. Like
Was it worse than UTV Worlds?
Yeah, like I couldn't see my dash.
Ooh-wee.
That's bad.
It was crazy out there.
I was just hoping for the best.
Just going out and sending it.
So
Right
I look
on.
for those course markers. That's what helped me the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Could you could see them like through the?
Well, they're like a bright pink. So like, and then they're kind of off the course, so they're not as dusty over there. So I kind of look for the course markers to figure out where the corner is.
Yeah, we got our boy Tyrone Robinson said that you're my boy Blue. Is that why you said that?
Yeah.
So thanks Tyrone for chiming in. And yeah, John, everybody's about that cartilage content. So that was a good question, Kaden. Maybe we should do some more aquatic questions.
Aquatic. It's all about the aquatic question.
Yeah. So are you smarter than the third grader aquatic edition? So well, that's cool, man. What place did you end up getting?
I ended up getting third. I got the
Nice,
guy
dude.
second to last lap for third place.
Really?
And I had to push the dust. I was in the championship points, and I wanted to finish off the XP 1000 2015 off with a good note, so we retired her with a third place.
Nice, dude. That's awesome. Podium.
Yep.
So what are you going to do with that machine now? Is it for sale?
No, it's my mom and my sister's car, so now I can't destroy it.
What do you think, Mom? Were you selling it? No? Oh, she just wants to go use it in the
Desert
desert, like
car.
she says.
Desert car.
High performance race machine to play thing.
Yeah. Well, now it has a reputation, so she's going to have to live up to podium finishes in the desert because everybody can be the Robbie Gordon of the campsite, right?
Oh,
Now
without a
Sarah
doubt.
Danbury's going to have to be that guy. So, well, good job, man. What was the
you.
most exciting part of the whole weekend?
Probably whenever I got that pass for third, I was really excited.
Man,
It was
that's
hard.
Did you know that you were going to get that pass, or did they tell you on the radio that you were like, dude, you got that guy in your sight, you got to get him?
Yeah, well, I kind of saw him coming closer and closer, and I just picked up my pace and kind of knew that I was doing really well from there, and I knew the car was going to hold together, so I just had to give her all.
Dude, I'm about that confidence.
Dude,
Good
I love
job,
that.
buddy.
Yeah, love that.
Super
If,
cool.
who helped you? Who were some of your sponsors for that race?
Polaris Razor, Full of Parts, Walker Evans, Benchmark Performance. They helped me get the car ready in, I think, a week because we had a race. We were going back to back for the 7 weeks. Everyone helped me out. Shreddy.
I noticed you wearing his drawers right there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Shreddy Life
Longer
underwear.
than my shorts. Yeah, everyone else helped me out. It was a tough 7 weeks because we raced straight. We were pre-running. We never stopped on the cars. Like the 570, we got some work to do. But yeah, we just 7 weeks. It's just been a lot on the cars.
Yeah, but you're still keeping up with all your schoolwork, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm homeschooled, so I can catch up. So it helps out.
Right on. Well, I'm glad that you're able to do all that stuff. You sound like a busy kid.
And of course, Mom and Dad. You want to thank Mom and Dad too,
Yeah,
right?
Mom and Dad, they've been pushing it.
Yeah.
And then getting me out there.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, Kaden. So congratulations, dude. You did a really good job. What's
Thank
the
you.
next race for you?
It is Prim, the World Finals for Works.
Right on.
It's a doubleheader, so one day's like a Lucas setup and like track. Then the next day is Lucas and like the Works track, so they add them together. It's a longer course. I think it's like 9 miles or something.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's the finals, and that kind of ends up the points.
Well, I'm going to go out there. What day is it? Is it November 22nd?
I think so.
Yeah, I'll see you there, bud.
And then, Kaden, if anybody wants to follow you on social media, what's your social media name?
At Kaden Danbury 27.
Say that one more time.
At Kaden Danbury 27.
Say that one more time.
At Kaden Danbury 27.
Kaden Danbury 27.
You got to go
My
check
man.
it out, too. Like, he has some awesome content that he puts up there, man. They're always so active on social media. It's pretty cool. It makes me feel like I'm not doing a good job because he's kicking so much social media butt. All right, so next up, Maddie, how was it for you at Parker? Because it looked like, with those big cars and so many people on the track, it looked gnarly.
It was crazy. So Saturday was the first race, and it was 110 cars on a 23-mile course. So it was pretty gnarly going into it. So I started 6th off the line. We got the whole shot. And immediately we knew we didn't have GPS.
Yeah, because they start two at a time, right?
Yeah, 2 at a time. So we started off first in the desert, and immediately just no GPS.
For any of our users or listeners that don't know what it means to not have GPS in the car when you're going on a course like that, it's pretty gnarly because you don't know where the next turn is, and especially when there's dust. Like, imagine driving down the freeway in your passenger car and you have like a rainstorm and you can't see in front of you, but you're going, let's just say 60 miles an hour, and you have to hang a left in 10 feet.
Yeah, it was crazy because, I mean, you don't really realize how much you rely on the GPS and your co-driver until you get put in a situation where you don't have it.
Yeah. And it's what's the co-driver going to do when they have nothing?
Yeah, right? I mean, he was trying his best. You know, Matt was telling me, like, okay, slight left here, but it was basically anything we could see. So it was hard. So trying to make the passes was difficult. You kept on blowing turns. I kept on making mistakes, not knowing what was in front of me. I mean, I could barely see the course markers. I mean, I couldn't tell where I was, no sense of direction. So the first day was definitely rough for us. So we finished 10th the first day. So we got that fixed. Thankfully, Erica Sachs helped me out. And then,
our girl Erica.
Yeah, she's awesome. You know, she came up to me at the start line trying to help the first day. We couldn't figure it out. And then the second day, you know, before that race, she did anything she could to fix it. And, I mean, she's awesome. She fixed it for the second day. So second day, since we were starting further behind, we decided to just take charge and see what we get, either checkers or wreckers. And, of course, you know, we had a mechanical failure, so we couldn't really do much. But I stopped in the pits, and we got that all taken care of. And it just, on such a short course, there was nothing we could really do.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough, but it gives you the understanding, like when we just talked to the Warfighters, like they have a never give up or never die attitude, right? Like you had the same thing because you said, okay, well, day one, we didn't accomplish our mission, so to speak. Day two, we're going like hellbent for election. Like
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what happens today, we're going for the gusto or gold, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and we were 2 points out of third for overall championship points for Best in the Desert. So it was like the second day, it was checkers or wreckers. Like, let's see what we got. And then it kind of sucked when that part broke. But there's nothing you can do. And I pulled into the pits, and luckily my entire pit crew was on it, and they changed the part out as fast as they could. But, for such a short course, there's really nothing we could have done.
I'm sure your old man was there drinking a beer with his finger in his belly button, directing traffic.
No, he was the first one on it. He got there pretty fast.
Did you guys have a good time?
Oh, yeah. My pit crew always has a good time, and it's definitely family-oriented, so it's cool having everyone out there to support you.
Well, since we asked Kaden what his favorite part of the weekend was, what was your favorite part of the weekend? We saw on social media that you're having fun with your friends, too.
Yeah. My favorite part of the race weekend, obviously the race didn't go how we wanted it, so just hanging out in the pits and, watching my friends race. So, we got to watch Kaden race for a little bit, and that was always fun. Me and Sierra got to hang out, and then my dad did the Dreams Challenge with the
What's
cranberry.
that?
You haven't seen that? It's
No,
all
what
over
is it?
social media.
I've never seen it. What is it?
It's like people drink the cranberry juice, the ocean spray.
Listening to the Fleetwood Mac song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So Dad did that on 2 wheels on a quad.
Oh, nice.
He tipped it sideways.
Oh, I saw that video.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was super chill while he was doing it too.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was my dad.
I thought I was watching like a circus bear. Is that not? Oh, it was your dad.
Yeah, that was my dad.
Oh, darn.
He wasn't trained to do that?
I thought I was watching a 3-ring circus thing.
Did he have the cranberry juice, the ocean spray?
Oh, he did. It was
Nice.
awesome.
So this was planned out, obviously.
Oh, yeah, it was so planned. It took us a while to get there.
Unless you guys just drink that all the time.
Yeah, just that's how we prep for the races.
Ocean spray.
Ocean spray.
Well,
Sponsor me, please.
At the UTV World Championship, it wouldn't have been a bad idea because your kidneys were toast after that anyway. Okay, so we asked Kaden the questions earlier. How can people get a hold of you on social media, and who do you want to thank too?
My social media is Maddie.Wedeking on everything, Facebook and Instagram. Obviously, Polaris Razor. Without them, I wouldn't be able to race, so very thankful for that platform. PRP Seats, Method Race Wheels, Tensor Tires, Walker Evans, Trinity Exhaust, Baja Designs, all those guys who helped me out.
Dude, you have
really
more
make this
sponsors
happen.
than most NASCAR guys. Yeah, right? That's pretty crazy. So Danny commented in and asking if we could ask Rob about inputting the first day on the second day in Baja. And that means, for people that don't understand that means inputting the wrong information in your GPS system for going on a ride. And when you're in Baja, you have to have your stuff correct.
So there we were. This is a no-shitter. Okay. Yeah. So our Lawrence, the Nora 500 is a 2-day race.
Yep.
250
awesome
miles
race.
each day. It's the best. If anybody watching this right now, if you race off-road and you haven't been to a Nora Baja event, you are missing out. But anyways, so our Lawrence with our we have an old Baja 5 or whatever it is. You can only put a 2 gig micro SD card in it. Anything bigger and it shuts itself down. So anyways, our friend Admiral Mike is in charge of the discs, and we inputted day 1, did a great job, and I go to him for the next morning, and I get the day 2 disc, insert it in there, load, everything's good to go, and we are chasing, so we start taking off to the next to the link up point, and
Wrong turn.
they've started, and then all of a sudden our race mom, Valerie Shatinsky, is calling my cell phone. She's here in SoCal, and she's calling my cell phone, and she's like, they're on the wrong course. They're on day 1. They're going the wrong direction. And then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up with with Danny calling me, hey, something's not right. So long story short, the micro SD card that I was given had the day 1 stuff on it. That's what I loaded. But the lead nav that we had in there was correct.
Oh, okay, good.
But
Back
they
up.
had it so zoomed in that they couldn't see, because they were off course.
Right.
They couldn't see the race course that they should have been on. If they just would have paged out of that a little bit or zoomed out, it would have came into view and they would have been all right.
Hey, so
For everybody watching, Danny's sitting across from me in the audience laughing his ass off right now.
So I don't know, Danny, we can see you on camera right now, but I feel like there's a little bit of passing the buck in those last few statements that Rob had. Oh, I didn't mess up. They could have just zoomed out. That was pretty funny, man. Oh, so Danny says that he was driving, so it wasn't him.
So basically he just blamed it on Jackie Carasosa, on Brojack. Brojack, Danny just threw you under the bus.
Man, I feel like Rob has had a love-hate relationship with Maddie and now you in the same show, man. That's pretty awesome. So
this is how we show our love. This is it. This is right here. It's total sarcasm the whole time.
It's pretty cool, though, to see the camaraderie. So let me ask you one question, Maddie. Would you rather put the wrong GPS stuff in or just not have GPS like you did?
Oh, God. I don't know. I'd rather have the wrong one. It makes me feel better something to be in there.
That way you know what the problem was?
That way I know what the problem is.
All right. Well, thank you very much, both of you guys, for coming up and joining us. We really appreciate it. And you guys did good. I mean, even though there was some adversity and some things that happened in your race, Maddie, like, you still got to remember you brought it home. You're sitting here hanging out, having a good time with us. So that's a race that was successful in my book.
Right.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So, and great job, Kaden, on your accomplishments as well, dude. So, all right. Well, we're going to have our featured guest, Casey Sims, coming on in just a little bit. We're going to take a commercial break, but you guys have both known him for a little while. What's your guys' funniest story that you guys have from Casey? I know that you guys ride dirt bikes together, don't you, Kaden?
Yeah.
Has he ever biffed? Has he ever biffed it?
We've had a few falls with each other.
Stuff that you don't want to talk about?
Yeah, there's a few ramps that we've fell back on, and plenty of ramps that we fell through. So
Fell through.
yeah, well, the front tire kind of like sunk in it. It's fine.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. I feel like that was a mechanical error.
I think it was the rider error. Too.
Oh, it was rider error too?
Yeah, probably.
He sticks to 4 wheels, not 2 wheels?
Yeah.
Right on. Do you have any funny stories about Casey before he comes on, Maddie?
Oh, gosh. We only hang out, at ADS with Warfighter Made. But my very first time meeting Casey was a long time ago. We were actually racing Lake Elsinore Grand Prix. And Casey's mom was racing. I mean, she must have been so nervous. At the time, I never knew who they were, and this was my first short course race ever. So I'm kind of introducing myself to everyone. And Casey's mom is sitting there so nervous, and all I see is Casey over there just like, it's okay, Mom, it's okay, you're fine, trying to calm her down. And I mean, that's probably one of my favorite memories of him.
That's pretty cool. And I think Casey's mom is here in the studio, too, or in the Warfighter Made shop, too, right?
Yes, everyone loves Carla.
Right on.
Yes, they do. But let me caveat. Was that the race that you blew the motor in your Razor?
Yeah.
And you got out of your machine and
I thought
took
I was
off?
on fire.
You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. But then you came running up to me out of nowhere, and you're like, where's my dad? I was like, I don't know. She's like, I need to help get my machine back into the pits, right?
She didn't say, help me Oprah, help me Tom Cruise?
She was doing that as she was running, patting herself.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm like,
okay?
I'm like, Maddie Wedeking, what's wrong with you? I'm on fire. You're not on fire, Maddie Wedeking.
Rolling on the ground and everything.
Yeah, and then she took off running again to go back to her car, and then her dad comes walking up, holding the beer with his finger in his belly button, like, "Where's my daughter? Her car's broke down." He's like, "Oh, darn!"
I was so mad.
Cracks another beer, takes a sip.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I was mad because I was like, well, I still need to finish. Like, can at least he help me push this thing across the line? I could see the finish line. Remember that?
And you did. Didn't Sarah Price give you the Hard Charger Award or whatever that was called?
Yeah, I still finished. I don't know how. I started pushing, and then I think someone just towed me to the finish.
We hooked you up.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's pretty cool. And now that we're talking about breaking down and stuff, we had Tony Bartel comment in, how do you guys keep from the military vets from breaking everything? They did a number on their equipment at the Mint 400 last year.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't. I mean, we got a couple machines strategically hidden out of camera view that are all tore up for veterans showing up, getting behind the wheel of a car or a machine, and just not necessarily their fault, just kind of maybe pushing a little too hard, and the machine starts going sideways, and normally you'd throttle through that, and they immediately cut the throttle, hit the brake, and then the machine catches a lip and just slams itself into the track, and Yeah. So
or even them just landing with the gas on and hurting axles or belts or something. But the whole point of these adrenaline therapy sessions are to go out there and have fun. So like the vehicles are the platform to go out there and do that. I mean, if it breaks, then
if the vets are out there tearing them up, being disrespectful, which we haven't really had that issue, but you know, if the vets are showing up and they're being disrespectful and tearing up the machines,
yeah, you'll say something.
We'll say something without a doubt. But it basically just means if you're tearing it up, that machine is now down and other vets can't use it. So, you know, like I always say it, our good friend Kara, who is a Air Force vet, we had her out in our hand control machine. She's paralyzed from the waist down, and she did a number on the hand control, which your boyfriend fixed for us. Thank you very much, Matt Lasher. But she felt so bad that she did that. Again, not really her fault. That she went to Facebook and did a donation thing and raised $500.
Dude, that's rad.
For us to fix that machine. And it just so happened that's exactly what it took for us to fix it. So
nice.
Thanks to Polaris and for hooking us up with that. But yeah.
Here we go with the whole camaraderie thing again, dude.
Absolutely.
Everybody's coming back, paying it
But
forward.
we've had vets show up, absolutely pile drive machines into the ground, and we never see them again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, never
Did
hear
they leave
from
with a
them
smile
again.
on their face at least?
Absolutely. Yeah. Probably because they're like, yeah, I'm alive.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming and hanging out with us. It's really cool that you guys came all the way to Temecula and got to hang out. Did you guys like the tacos?
I didn't even have tacos. I had my Starbucks.
Oh,
It was
my.
pretty good.
Dude, bougie.
I'm about to have
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we got a bougie off-road racer over here.
You never heard her video or her and Matt during
This is the first day I've met her.
Vegas to Reno, or was it Vita R?
Oh,
where
yeah, it was
you're
Vegas
there
to Reno.
talking about Starbucks and Chick-fil-A.
Oh,
They had
man.
a whole thing about, do you know what would be good right now? I'm like, race your race, Maddie Wedeking.
I also
Vegas to Reno, when you're in there for 12 hours,
you have to start thinking about Starbucks and Chick-fil-A.
I mean, it's like, you just imagine it, like tasting it. Like,
Here we go. So I already got a lecture by one Carla Sims about going out to Chick-fil-A as well. So I might have to try it one of these days.
You've never had Chick-fil-A?
Not once in my life.
oh my gosh, are you even American?
You want to know another fun fact? I've never eaten a steak, and I've never tasted coffee.
Well, I knew the steak thing. We
Yeah.
talked about that before.
I don't
Want
like
resin?
thick meat.
That's not what I heard.
Man, you got to tell me when I got to put the camera on the audience when you're going to crack these jokes, dude. Yeah, so, and I've never tasted a cup of coffee yet, or had a sip of coffee in my whole life. So.
That's what's something you've never done?
Never done.
Yeah.
Well, clearly she's drinking a bunch of coffee.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. What about you, Kaden?
Caden's had
Do
coffee.
you have any fun facts?
I don't like coffee. My mom gave me
Dude,
a sip of hers, and
we
it
just
was
became
the worst
best
experience
friends.
of my life.
Yep, we just became best friends. You like iced tea?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
iced tea.
double best friends. So, what about a fun fact for you, Maddie, and then we'll let you guys go.
I don't like my food touching.
What do you mean?
Like my food can't touch.
Like you have to
can't just
separate?
mix. Yeah, my food's
All right,
always
so when you
separated.
eat
Everything?
M&Ms or Skittles, is every color in the same little pile?
No, I'm not that extra. But
Oh.
like I can't have them all. Like I can't have multiple colors at the same time.
What about beans and rice? Do you mix it?
No.
Oh,
No.
man.
that's the best.
It is really
It's really
good.
good.
Yeah. So I
Danny
was
and I
on.
just had that today.
Yeah, I was on the same page as you. I was like, nope, everything's separate. And then all of a sudden, my sister's like, nope. She just went in there and whipped up my beans and rice, and I was like, dang it, like she won. And then I tasted it, and I was like, I'm changed.
What-
I'm a new man.
Yeah.
When my wife was growing up, she was the oldest, and she had 4 siblings, and she had to have her own silverware, her own plate, her own cup, and no one could touch that. That was hers, and that was it. No one.
All right, so we got one other comment. So we have some fellow non-coffee drinkers. Tony Bartel says he's never had a cup of coffee either. So I don't feel that bad, even though you guys are, getting at me.
Hey, Tony, when you drink too much, what do your boys call you? That's what I want to know. When you drink too much, what do your boys call you?
And then Kelsey asked Robert Blanton, tell us about that door in your office. I don't know what that means. Is that a secret?
The door in my office.
Yeah, who knows? Well, maybe Kelsey could give us a little bit more info on it. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
The door in my office.
Oh, now it clicks in.
Yeah. Do you have 2 minutes?
All right, go for it.
No, it's not something that you can really describe. It's something you just have to see.
So he's bringing the door out?
He's bringing the door out.
Oh, I see. It's not an actual door of an office door.
That's what I was thinking it was.
So Danny,
what does it say? What does it say right there? Rob Linton, July 9th, 2018.
So Danny brought out for the guys,
driver of the year.
For the people that are going to be listening to this on iTunes, Danny brought out a door. It looks like a Polaris Razor door with an aluminum skin on it.
It's actually a PRP door.
Yeah, and the aluminum skin is it doesn't look straight whatsoever. It's pretty bent up. And what does it say on there, Rob?
It says Rob Linton, July 9th, 2018, hashtag driver of the year.
Oh, so you obviously sent it.
I sent it. So me and a female Marine veteran were doing a photo shoot for a calendar, and Sam was all dressed up, looking fantastic, and I was supposed to be jumping the Razor behind her for a Shoot It Live calendar, which is a tack gas brand. And
while you're talking, we're going to all take a picture at the same time for the tack gas brand. And you, it looks like you folded that door up pretty good, man. It looks pretty good.
So we shot this. We did this jump again. We're at the
Danny.
We're at the Pepper Tree track in Costa's house, and doing this jump over and over and over again. And Sam is taking different poses, and she's holding weapons, and so on and so forth. And my boy Jim at Tack Gas is just like, "All right, we're doing it again." And so I fired up the Razor, took off, sent it, and overshot the landing. It was kind of a tabletop. And I ended up landing kind of on the lip of the downside.
Before you finish, I want to hear the rest of the story, but I want to say you are the epitome of what you're telling all these warfighters not to do.
Maybe.
But you're still a badass.
Possibly. All right. Do as I say, not as I do. All right. So yeah, I landed on the backside, and the suspension compressed. And when the suspension rebounded, I was already kind of going down the face of the backside, so it kicked the rear end up. And I'm basically staring down at the track. And, there's no throttle out of that because the rear end's up. And the Pepper Tree track is called the Pepper Tree track because the entire track is lined with trees. So you don't really have an out. You're either on the track or you're not. And so as I'm on the front wheels, the rear end starts to come around. And as it sets itself down, I'm already sideways, catch a lip 2.5 times over. Door comes flying open and then gets crammed into the track, which is what you saw there.
Yeah.
Wadded the machine up pretty good, and I could hear everybody running to me, and there was this funny little vine. Vine's not even a thing anymore, but there was this funny vine, and it showed this kid wearing a SpongeBob outfit.
And for people that don't know Vine, it's like an Instagram story.
It's like a TikTok.
It's like a TikTok,
right.
Short TikTok.
So, but he's like 3 years old, and he's wearing a SpongeBob outfit, and he falls forward face first, and he can't get back up. But as soon as he hits the ground, everyone's like, and all you hear this little voice go, "I'm okay," right? And as everybody's running up to me, all I could think to say was, "I'm okay." And I was like, "Oh God, why did I say that?" It was just like, telling everybody that I'm a believer. It's just like,
why did I have to say that, man?
Justin, call me.
Yeah,
anyways.
Exactly. Well, that's pretty cool that you did that, though, because it goes to show how awesome those adrenaline therapy sessions are. But good on you for showing all the other guys how to do it, man.
Yeah, well, this wasn't an ATS. I hardly ever get behind the wheel at an ATS. We were doing a calendar shoot.
Oh,
so
that's not any better.
On our own time.
Yeah, sorry.
I would be remiss if I wadded up a vehicle during an ATS as I'm yelling at people to slow down. That'd be bad.
So I don't know if anybody knows who Mary Wedeking is, but she says, I kind of like that girl, Maddie.
That's my grandma.
Yeah.
So
that's my grandma.
Well, hi, Grandma. How are you? All right. Well,
Mary, I understand that you and I have to drink some tequila together. That's what your son said.
Is she into that?
Oh, yeah.
Apparently she
Grandma's
is, yeah.
hardcore.
Okay, so I asked Adam Fitza and his dad and his brother out at the Warfighter Made Adrenaline Therapy session on Saturday if they ever had a white man's margarita. Have you ever had one?
Yeah, at your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Margarita with Mountain Dew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. It's delicious.
So it's Well, usually Patron, because I like Patron. Everybody always tells me, no, Patron sucks, but I like it. So Patron Silver and Diet Mountain Dew or regular Mountain Dew on the rocks. It doesn't get any better than that. So White Man's Margarita. No, you guys can't have one, but, maybe some of these other people that are listening can. So, all right. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break unless you guys have anything else to say before you guys hit the road.
Good. Beat it.
All right. See you guys
We love
later.
you too.
Thank you guys very much for coming up. We really appreciate it. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I'm trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch, you can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up instead of
patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, Thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. We are back. Again, thank you guys very much for joining us on episode 61 of the Dirt Life Show. We really appreciate it. We got a lot of people watching tonight, and we got a lot of comments coming in, so please keep those comments coming. We have our featured guest tonight. He's a side-by-side youth racer. He's getting up into the older ages now, so he's going to start racing a little bit more professionally as things go. But we'd like to welcome Casey Sims to the studio. I keep saying the studio, but it's the Warfighter shop. And Casey has actually got a lot of accolades. He's won many races. He's obviously had a good time coming up through the ranks. But one of the things that he's done as well is at the UTV World Championship, he was a recipient of the Perseverance Award from you guys, wasn't he, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely.
So welcome Casey Sims to the studio.
Hey, Casey. How you doing, man?
Thank you, guys, for having me on.
2018.
I think it was 2018.
2018 UTV World Championships. Warfighter Made, we do a Perseverance Award for the UTV World Championships.
Yep.
An award that was requested from us by Joey D., formerly of UTV Underground, now of Four Wheel Parts. And he basically wanted Warfighter Made to come up with some sort of an award that would that we could just basically give to somebody to start getting our name out. And, we being us, I was like, no, this is an opportunity for us to do something a little bit different, to recognize somebody who really put forth an effort. And 2014, the very first recipient of the Warfighter Made Perseverance Award was Donna Ellsworth.
Yep. I remember hearing that story, man.
It made, still to this day, one of my favorites. Donna blew the engine in her ATV, and she was on the infield last lap. She literally had, a quarter mile, half mile left to go. And she jumped off and started pushing that thing. And she pushed until she had to stop at one point due to exhaustion, laid down, and then got back up and continued to push.
That's nuts.
And crossed the finish line. Still finished in third place. That's how far ahead she was.
That's so sick.
That's awesome.
And and then Casey Sims. Basically, what we did for Casey was every UTV World Championships, Casey had put his machine on the box.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't know about Casey and his family is that they're a total privateer team.
Yeah.
They don't have sponsors, paying their ways or doing this or doing that.
Hard work.
They're doing it because they love it, because this kid has two parents that raise him right. And Casey gets really good grades because that's part of his requirement. And then he goes out and he's a beast on the track. The other thing that I love about this kid is when Warfighter Made started doing Adrenaline Therapy Saturdays, I went to him and Kaden and Jacob Peter and Maddie Wedeking and said, hey, will you guys come out and support? I need people that I trust that I can put family members in or other vets in with that, you're going to give them a good time, but you're not going to stress them out. And this kid's been to just about every single one of them.
Nice. Good job, bro.
And like we already talked about, James was out there, had his 3-year-old daughter, and James wanted to put his daughter in the car. And when they came up to me and said, hey, we want to put James's daughter in the car.
You got to have a lot of trust.
With Casey Sims. I was like, yep, no problem. Do it. So,
that's super cool, man. Well, I'm glad that you not only attend those adrenaline therapy sessions, but congrats on the Perseverance Award. And obviously, we're going to get into your story a little bit more too. So that's pretty cool.
Before that, can I lead into something else real quick here?
Sure, go for it, man.
So the 2020 UTV World Championship Perseverance Award winner was actually George Hamill.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Like when I heard that, I started. Well,
and it was funny because you found out during the Dirt Life show last time. So
somebody spoiled it sitting over here in the audience, Sarah Danbury.
Oh, good job, Sarah.
She spoils everything.
So That was super cool for me, though. And then obviously when I understand the award and stuff, actually, would you mind getting it so we could show our audience what it is?
Actually, Danny already brought it. It's sitting right back here. So,
really?
Excuse me for a moment.
Yes. So the thing is pretty cool, and Casey can probably attest to some of this. Like, when you understand the love and effort that goes into, first of all, making this award, you hear Rob talk like the story he brought up just a little while ago about his combat situations and things like that. When we're out there racing, we're racing because we're having fun. Every single racer wants to go out there and win, no matter what it is. They don't go out there to get last place, right? But the understanding of what this award means, how did you put it, Rob? It's because I told you, I go, dude.
It's the award that everybody wants, but nobody wants to earn.
Yeah, so that right there in itself was just so meaningful to me to hear those words, because to understand the amount of life that you guys have lived as veterans compared to what normal civilians have lived, most normal civilians, and then to be giving an award out to these people that persevere, we couldn't persevere anywhere near the amount that you guys do.
Well, so for all my friends and family that are watching, because, I did a watch party, and that's how
mine keeps crashing. I don't know what the heck's going on with my phone.
Well, maybe mine crashed too, but that's how Gonzo got on there. But, for all my friends and family that are watching on my watch party, George Hamill was racing the UTV World Championships last year in 2019, where he found himself his machine on its side.
Yeah, it just tipped over.
And he got out of the machine, assessing the situation. And if you can't tell, or if you didn't realize, George is paralyzed from the waist down. He's able to walk with braces, which are those high-speed looking things on his
carbon fiber
little tiny legs. And then you got...
Yeah, I skipped leg day. Sorry, bud.
You've been skipping leg day for a really long time. And then you got basically someone alerted you that somebody was coming. So you started to do your
just walk off the track.
Your little
hobble.
Yeah, your hobble off. And unfortunately, that car came around and
was rear-ended by another car and
hit George.
Yeah,
and it didn't just hit him; it pinned George between his machine and the car that hit him, and the injuries were significant. If George didn't have a helmet on, he wouldn't be sitting here right now. And even though he had a helmet on, he still might not be sitting here right now.
Yeah. We always say it, and you've brought this story up to me a bunch of times, but without getting too deep on the situation, somebody was looking over me because they didn't want me up there.
Right.
So when I did go up there, they kicked me out and sent me back. So
right.
It was nice to be able to understand all of that stuff. And when you go through a traumatic situation like that, whether you lose somebody, you have your own traumatic situation, whatever it is, every single person experiences a significant emotional event in their life. Doesn't matter who you are, you all experience it. And when you go through something like that and you can understand how meaningful it is to hear comments like the things that you say and to see these awards, it's phenomenal. To me, I still, right now I'm getting choked up about it. I don't want to, but it's so meaningful for me, dude. It really is.
Well, stop talking so I can finish the story, please. So the 2020 UTV World Championships, our friend Craig Scanlon gave George an opportunity to race an RS1, this one right behind us that says the Dirt Life on it. And, George had some hesitations and, but took the chance, went out there, entered your race, finished your race.
Yeah. We didn't do too bad either, man.
And that's exactly what perseverance is all about. And what I tell people is, George, even if you never drive another race, you literally got back on that horse and, you didn't let it beat you. So, my brother, the UTV World Championship.
Dude, that thing looks heavy.
Warfighter Made Perseverance Award, made by Marine Combat Vet Narayan Devone, with engine parts given to us by Croyer Racing Engines. My man, Bo Gillenswan, made the plaque for us at Rusted Nail, authentic designs, supplies our stickers now. And this award has some meaning because, unfortunately, the year 2020, Warfighter Made lost 2 family members. We lost Angus Powers, and we lost our co-founder, Butch Lynch. And so their initials are on the bottom of this award as honor to them. And now we want to honor you by giving you this award.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Absolutely, bro.
It's awesome, dude.
And what's significant about Narayan, he breaks it right off the bat. And what's significant about our Warfighter here is no matter what's going on, you can put your chin down and charge through, or you can go chin up and just, look to the sky and get through whatever it is that you need to be doing. So,
dude, he looks like the Punisher too. I'm glad. This thing's badass, man. So who did you say made this?
Narayan Devone. You met Narayan yesterday at ATS.
I did.
So
he was an awesome dude too.
And he actually made that in like, I don't know, six hours or something like that.
That thing is super cool, man. Here, put the badge back on the front of that thing, please. That thing is awesome, man. Like I said, thank you so much, Rob. I really appreciate it. Those things don't go unnoticed, especially with our audience, man. Like, it's meaningful to me, but there was so many people who reached out after Sarah blew it. Told everybody that were like super, super cool and congratulated me on it. And like I told them, I said, man, like, do I really deserve that award? Do I really want to get that award? But I understand it after you explained it to me. That's the one that you don't want to earn. But yeah, I feel good that I'm here. So that's cool.
I would too.
All right. So let's get talking about Casey Sims, dude.
Casey, Perseverance Award winner. Works champion, UTV world champion. Mm-hmm. What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you guys feeling?
Doing fantastic.
Good.
Yeah, I still haven't got any tacos, so after the show, I'm going to get some. I'll be feeling even better.
They were really good. I really liked them.
They were really good. What was that place?
It's called Renee's Cowgirl Cafe, I think it is. But it's in downtown Temecula. So like I told you before.
Old Town.
Old Town Temecula. Yeah, so basically I already started looking for houses. I'm going to have to move out here just because the tacos are so good. So Casey, how did you even get like involved in the dirt life, man? Like, because you grew up in where, Vista, California?
Yeah, Vista. Basically, as long as I can remember, we've been going to the desert. We went to the river, and I think my parents used to tell me like I was 2 weeks old, and they were taking me to off-road shows and just trying to get me.
That is dangerous.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Way to go, Mom.
Just trying to get me into that kind of life, and they got me my first quad when I think I was like 2, and all I wanted to do was ride my quad. That's all I wanted to do. And I remember even my mom tried to get me into sports. She tried to get me into baseball, soccer, anything, and all I wanted to do was go to the desert and ride my quad. And that's just everything. That was everything to me, was going. And then finally we went to a race and we saw the Razor 170s, and I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to race cars. Yeah. So we got one when I was 9 years old, and we built it, and I won my first race. And after that first race, that feeling of winning, it was like, okay, this is it. This is all I want to do. And we've just been kind of going up through the ranks, went through the 170s for 2 years. I had 800 for 2 years, and then now we're in the 1,000 stock and production class.
That's pretty bitchin', man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how it, like every time I hear these stories, whether it's a young lady, a young man, or even an older guy, it's like everybody gets addicted right away. It's like your dirt heroin, right? Like you go out there, you win your first race, you're like, oh, I'm doing it now. I got to keep going. Like that's your fiending for it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that. I'm not really an off-road racer.
Yeah, we already know that. You already explained your story. So can't even load the GPS, dude.
I can't load a GPS. I wad up razors.
I think everybody's got it out for you today.
Danny doesn't let me touch tools in the shop. It's like, whatever.
I love that camaraderie, though. I'm sure that Casey's got some stories that he can tell us, too. But before you do that, like, you didn't just all of a sudden, like, you had to have some bad like moments too. Like you won your first race. It's not like you've won every race since then. Like you have to understand and learn through the process, right?
Yeah, the first year, because we were there. I remember at the first year of racing 170s, Kaden, Danbury, we were basically one of the first ones, and every race I remember we were just praying for at least 5 cars at the race. And it was always
to just come to be able to race.
Just to be there to race. And we tried everything on those 170s to try to figure it out, tinker with them. And it was like, I remember the first car, we had a few computers. We had 2 computers because one would always die. You would unplug it, plug in the next one, car would run fine. And it was just stuff like that you just got to figure out and tinker with the cars to figure out.
So what, you're 9 or 10 years old and you're learning how to work on the cars this much?
Yeah, my dad, he always makes me work on stuff. He actually does heavy mechanic. He's heavy equipment. And every time he was always working on something, he would make me be out there and help him work and watch what he was doing.
Invaluable.
Yeah, so my normal co-host, Casey Peck, always says, you got to hold the flashlight for Dad. It's the worst job ever,
It
right?
is the worst job ever.
There's no way to ace this job.
No.
Ever.
That's one of my favorite memes right now is some of you all have never held the flashlight for your father, and it shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where it all starts, right?
Yeah, it definitely is where it all starts. And now, just today, he does not let anybody else. He only ever trusts me or him working on the cars, and he just always is making sure, did you do this? Did you do that? And tells me what I need to do.
Sounds like you guys probably have checklists and all that stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Well, so one thing I got to mention is I wouldn't have been able to race a UTV World Championship had he not answered my text because he told me the torque specs for the primary clutch on the Razor.
Nice.
So I was like, dang, 16, he's already knows all that stuff. And it took him 3 seconds to answer.
Which just goes back to the family, thing, the family aspect of it. Everyone's out there racing. And Mike Gardner had a story that I'm going to ad-lib here, but him and Piplick, who Piplick won overall UTV World Championships.
Yep.
At some point, they had a little issue.
Right.
And Mike wadded up in 2016 really bad, and he actually came back to the 2020 UTV World Championship, his first race back, and they were having an issue, and Piplick ran over and assisted them somehow. So it's always the one thing that I've always appreciated about off-road, about the dirt life, is that it seems like everyone is there to have fun,
right? But so to help,
take care of each other.
Yep.
Even if they are your competitor, like you were saying, you were hoping that more than 5 cars would show up, because you want that. You want to race. It's that competition is kind of what fuels some of our souls and makes us want to get out there and push harder, brake a little later, gas a little earlier, and try not to wreck.
Well, we're going to ask Casey this question a little bit later, but most people, when they answer this question, what was your favorite race or most memorable race, was the battles when you're on the track. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. If you had an awesome battle, you come off just like the vets with a huge smile on your face because you're so pumped.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. So being that young and starting to understand how much work it's going to take to put into your program, do you think, it might be a little easier if I play baseball, basketball, one of the stick and ball sports, because I can go to school, I can manage my time a little bit, or you're just gung-ho off-road?
It might be easier, but for me, I couldn't see me doing anything else. It's just something that I always I wanted to do. And I've always thought about, okay, yeah, maybe it might be easier for me to deal with with school and all that, but it's just something that I love doing and I'm really passionate about it. And we can always come up with time. You can always do school after we work on the car, before we work on the car.
I don't know about after. Your mom's not going to like that answer. Got to have the schoolwork done first, right?
Yeah.
Casey, I have to interrupt you real quick. The whole time you're talking, I'm just I'm fixated on them golden, luscious locks.
Dude, they're pretty nice, right?
Right? How did that come about?
Well, I think it was a year ago at the 2019 UTV World Championships. My hair wasn't too long, but it was kind of long. And I asked Dustin Jones if he wanted to cut my hair into a mullet. And since then, I have not touched my hair.
Really?
He cut it into a mullet.
Well, is that where you just don't want to ever touch, getting an autograph and you just never wash yourself?
Basically.
So that's kind of like a little protege right there. I can kind of see it. With the amount of races he wins and the way he looks, he's like.
Have you ever had crawfish?
No.
Oh, well,
Not
you're going to have
yet.
to step up your game because Dustin eats that stuff all the time.
I know. I've thought about it.
Dustin Jones, you need to pick up Casey Sims, bring him out to Louisiana, and show him what it's all about. I mean, he's already looking like you, so
yeah, like you said, a protege, right?
He's winning races like you, so.
So, what are some of the well, I don't want to say best, most memorable races, but when you go through and you understand like desert racing, BITD, works racing, have you ever done a short course race, like a Lucas race?
I did. I think it was 3 in the 170s. But
So which type of racing did you like the best?
my favorite is there's a smaller series called the Dirt Series.
Oh, that one looks cool. It's like all moto, right?
It's all moto, and that's just where I started was on those moto tracks, and just the big jumps to the tight corners. It's something that I always thought was just awesome, taking like a UTV on a motocross track.
It looks so fun.
Yeah.
And the Dirt Series are the ones that brought back the Lake Elsinore Grand Prix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I'd never done that race. Is that race cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really cool. You get to actually go down and race some of the main street in Lake Elsinore.
From
really?
On any Sunday. Yeah, it's still so Steve who founded the Dirt Series, who then got permission to, or however it came about, took over the Lake Elsinore GP. The first couple years, he had to just do it on the motocross track. There wasn't really anything about it, but he pushed and pushed and pushed, and now it's back on the streets in Elsinore, and the city's getting behind it. And
I got to come check this out, dude.
It's super
It's really
cool.
fun.
Well, Maddie was just talking about that, she was racing. It's like, I think that's what she said. It was the first time that they had met.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
it was
Yeah,
at
that's
the
right.
Elsinore GP.
So that race actually, man, obviously I've been missing out because everybody's going, not me. It looks like it's going to be a cool race, though, too. When do they have it?
It's October-ish.
I think so.
I don't know if they're having it.
Well,
because of
2020 is a
COVID.
blowout, so
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to see.
Obviously, because we're in October, so never mind. Yeah.
So, have you ever placed like podium at that race, or is it gnarly to finish?
I did in my 170 I won, and in my 800 I won.
Yeah, way to brag, dude. That's good though, man. That's awesome.
The dude's racking them up.
I know, and he's rocking them up with like sweet hair now.
I know. That's right. It's like just do me a flip your. There you go. That's right.
So for those of you guys that are listening on audio, you're gonna have to go check out the YouTube and or the Facebook feed so that you can see his sweet, luscious hair. Because especially with the camera angle, you can see it right by the Dirt Life logo on that gray car with Scanlon's behind him.
Yep. Oh, I'm sure it looks glorious right now.
It looks fantastic.
Casey,
so.
what's your social media?
At CSims188.
CSims188.
Yes.
Yeah, and so
CSims188.
if you want to follow the Warfighter Made social media pages with Dirt Life, you can also go check it out because we posted some stuff with Casey and Warfighter there too. So
I want to read a comment real quick.
Go.
Amber DeHaven, can you page up? She said something really cool about the Sims family that I wanted to read, but she also said that the 2020 season looked like it was canceled. So Amber said he and his family, talking about the Sims family,
are the greatest
people.
Yep.
We love watching him kill it on the track. He is such a great young man.
Yeah, so we're learning a lot about him right now. It's going to be cool to hear the rest of his story. I don't disagree with that. He's a great man because he helped me obviously get out there to the UTV World Championship so I could race too. So you are a great man in my book.
Thank you.
And he puts forth a awesome effort for Warfighter Made and the vets and the family. So
yeah, and you said fourth too. He got fourth and I got eighth. So yeah, that's 4 positions, man. This number 4, the fourth. It's still.
Everything with you is about numbers.
Okay, so I got a good story about the Perseverance Award then if you really want to talk numbers. So my number has always been 19. You can see it on the car in the background. And I don't understand this whole thing, but somebody commented on social media that 19 is one of those numbers that it's like an infinity thing where it's like 1 + 9 = 0, so it keeps going and going and going. It's like a lucky number or something. I didn't research it, so I don't really know what she was talking about. But my number's been 19 for my whole career, even dirt bikes. Even when I turned pro, I was 719. But I entered the UTV World Championship, got the number 19. I got hurt in 2019. I raced the UTV World Championship 19 months after I got hurt. And there was also some other significance that was 19. But it's like crazy how all this stuff, like And I don't want to be like that guy that always like, oh, there's a greater power or, destiny or whatever. But it's weird, dude. It's really weird that all this stuff happens. I'm telling you.
What's something weird that's happened to you, Casey? Let's bring it back to you.
I don't know. Something weird that's happened to me. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head.
I have a question for you. So I think it was last year you wadded yourself up pretty good.
Yes.
Right? It's funny to me how I look at Polaris razors and, how safe they are, right? And knowing your mom, knowing Sarah Danbury, and knowing Erica Peter, the three of you women are the most anxious, freaked out moms ever.
Yes.
What's it like having to deal with a mom that still wants to mother their baby boys?
It's not that hard. People make it sound a lot harder than it really is, but it's not. She always is like trying to make sure that everything's okay. Everything's always okay. But sometimes I always just tell her, like, Mama, calm down. Everything's okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Everything's okay. And it's not, everybody makes it seem like a lot harder than it really is.
I had to give Sarah Danbury a hug during the UTV World Championships because I thought she was going to fall apart. She started to make me nervous.
She's going crazy. Well, I wonder what she was doing when she was had so much excitement at Parker this last weekend for Kaden doing that second to last lap pass.
Leslie Sims, mom power.
So, Leslie Sims says mom power. She also said mahalo from Hawaii. That's cool. So she lives down in Hawaii, huh?
Yeah, she's my dad's cousin. So she lives in Hawaii, and she always tries to come out to as many races as she can. She's awesome.
Well, it sounds like the Dirt Series is going to be back on in 2021, I guess, huh?
Is that what Amber said?
Yeah, so that'll be pretty cool. I actually want to go check out one of those races. I think it'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
Another question for you. So coming back from a wreck, I understand that Jacob Peter is kind of going through. He had a big accident not too long ago, and
fellow works racer.
What? Yeah, absolutely. Fellow youth racer. Jacob's usually out supporting Warfighter Made's.
Oh, awesome.
ATSs and whatnot. Great kid. What does it take to come back? Do you feel nervous? Getting back behind the machine, or are you just so amped up to get out there and do what you love?
I never really, after that roll down that hill, I never really was nervous. Even after it happened, I was sitting on the side of the mountain. I was sitting on my side, and everybody's running up. I'm just yelling, I'm okay. Just flip me over. I gotta go. And they flipped me over, and I went as much as I could before one of the parts had failed, and I couldn't go anymore. Yeah. But after that, I wasn't really nervous to get back in that car. All I remember was, okay, what do we need to fix so that I can get back in the car? And then just at the last race at a Works in Blythe, I was coming down through a mountain, and I flipped, but I landed back on my wheels. And I remember radioing to my mom, hey, I flipped, but I landed back on my wheels, so I'm fine. I'm just going to keep going. And yeah, that's
total racer mentality for both of those situations.
Wasn't that Dallas Gonzalez that had that epic?
Yes, he came off the track and he goes, I did a front flip, and we're all like, no, you didn't, Dallas. Like we all thought he was messing, and then somebody finally had the video, and we were like, okay, you actually did do a front flip.
Did you ever see that? It's like it made its round in the side-by-side world. No. He was hauling ass down
at the last Parker race. At the last Blue Water race.
On the track, started to get into some whoops, and literally catapulted. He had an RS1, I think it was.
Yeah, he hit a G out, and that's what it was.
And he did a front flip, landed on his wheels, and it's like, didn't even hesitate, just kept on going.
You can hear him on his foot on the gas where he goes, he hit the gas, and then he did it, and then as soon as the front hit the ground, he hit the gas again. And
that's was crazy. Going. But I still don't think it's that crazy, though, because I've done the exact same thing.
Prove it.
The second time, I think we do have a video of it. So the second time that I actually ever drove a Razor, we had a Razor 900. It was an orange one, so we called it the Pumpkin. And me and my fiance at the time, we were like going through the dunes in Glamis, and we were just following another guy, and we thought we were going to send it, right? So we hit the bottom of the G out at the bottom of the lip, and it threw the rear end of the car up before it, so the front tires were like climbing up it, and right as we hit the top, it grabbed traction, threw us fully front end over, and we both got a little bit of whiplash, but we landed on the wheels and didn't break one part and kept going on the ride. It was nuts. But you had to spin really fast, so Dallas probably went like super fast front flip. Yeah,
we're gonna look at it after this. It's gnarly.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how able these vehicles are to keep going.
Yeah,
I remember one time, like you can explain like maybe a worse crash that you've had, but one time at the Lucas races out here in Lake Elsinore, we had in the Yamaha YXZ we rolled 8 times, and we still put the car on the wheels, went back out, and still hole shot and led for 2 laps until my radiator fan stopped working. It was, and the car was fully mangled, like the top was fully crushed in and everything. Like, it's so crazy that these vehicles are so good to go after they have those massive impacts.
Yeah.
So what's one of the worst crashes that you've had? Was it that one?
It was definitely the one. I think it was, I rolled right off the start of one of the works races, and everybody bunched into the corner, and a tire caught on somebody else's tire, and it just pitched the car up. And I think it was 6 times down the hill. It was, and of course, it was right down the hill, so it went all the way down the hill, and then it just kind of slowly landed on the door, and then they flipped me back over, but it was just, they flipped me back over, and whenever I took off, they said that they looked, and one of the wheels was leaning, and they were like, oh, no, let's see how far you can make it. And I remember all I was doing is that it finally had broken, the part had broken, and all I wanted to do was just keep going. They just finally told me, Casey, you need to pull off the track.
Were you a little cuckoo, or were you ready to go?
No, I was ready to go.
That's cool, man. Yeah, just to prove my point, man, those things can keep going. They keep you pretty safe, man.
I mean, aren't all the racers already a little cuckoo?
Yeah, pretty much.
A little more cuckoo?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. And you have them all out at the track at the same time?
Another thing that I think is really cool is that I notice, at the beginning of starts of these races, that all of you guys, including some of the young female racers, you guys are all really good friends.
Yes.
Really good friends. And I look on social medias, I see the stuff that you guys are posting, and you guys are all out together doing mini bike races and just hanging out. What does it mean to you to be able to race and get competitive also with people that you call really good friends?
I always thought it was awesome because even in the 170s, we'd be riding our bikes, and then our parents would say, okay, you got to go race. So we'd all get in the cars, we'd go race, and we'd hop out of our cars, and we'd go ride our bikes again. But it's always fun to get off the track and be like, oh, I saw you do that, and I saw you do that, and just be able to push your friends more and be able to say, like, oh, you're doing way better in here. Maybe we can, like, help each other almost.
Yeah, these are like lessons learned like subconsciously, right? Because you're always learning how to, even if you get beat, you're learning how to accept that and your friend did better or whatever. And then you're moving into like a work situation when you're 20 years old, you got to go get a job or whatever it is. Like everybody wants to be a professional racer, so some might not get jobs. But the team effort and stuff like that you have to put in, like you're so much more willing to accept what people are doing because you have those underlying qualities in you, just learning all this stuff growing up through racing and living in the dirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty rad, man. So yeah, exactly. So when you do get off like those things, do you ever hang out with any of the racers like in school or anything like that?
Nobody that I know that races go to school with me, but I mean, like Kaden, Danbury, and I, we used to go to the same school, so it was always fun because we actually live right down the street from each other. So on. Yeah, whenever we leave the race, we're saying bye to everybody. Go, oh, we'll see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Like it's no big deal. But,
see you tonight, pulling in the driveway.
Yeah. And then sometimes we can even, whenever we're backing our trailer and we see them backing, we always honk at them. But yeah, I never have like school people that race with me. But
so when you go to school, are you the only racer guy? Because that's how I was when I was going to school, and it was like pretty hard for me to get along with all the other people because I didn't play stick and ball sports.
Yeah.
And then some would look at you like you're the popular kid, someone would look at you like you were totally distant, like a weirdo freak. Like, is that the way it is now too?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it is now. But I do have like my group of friends that they all go out to the desert, and actually some of them I've known since I was little, and we've all gone out to the desert together. So we kind of all have like our groups, and I just have my little group where we all like go to the desert, and they all like understand the racing side of things.
Oh,
too.
perfect. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday at Warfighter Made Adrenaline Therapy Saturday, I thought it was super cool that you were out giving rides, and we talked about it. You had James's 3-year-old daughter with you, and what's that like? What's it like to know that, you know, these veterans are out there and their families are there going through the kind of the same thing that the veterans going through, and you know, you're able to be a little part of that. I mean,
it's a really good feeling to me, being able to see like his 3-year-old daughter, like the smile on her face. I could tell she was a little nervous at first. She was like, okay, just one lap. And then after that first lap, she had the biggest smile on her face, and that gives me a really good feeling. Like, I feel like I did something good today. And it's not like, oh, I went out and I bought them a house or anything. Like, I was able to do something for them that put the biggest smile on their face. And
personally involved with it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I thought was super cool was at some point where George had jumped in the vehicle with you, and then you guys went out and paced Rob Mac to do some video.
Yep.
Yeah.
And to me, it was super cool to see you, you know, kind of cutting up on the inside of the course as Rob was doing the 3-wheel going around Daytona Corner.
I can't wait for people to see this footage.
And there you are, Casey Sims, you know, pacing Rob Mac to get this really cool footage. If you could choose 3 people to ride shotgun with you, to be your right seat and give you pointers,
dude, I don't know, man. That's a hard question.
Think about those 3 people. We're going to come back to that. All right. Okay. Where's Kaden? Kaden, I'm going to ask you that same 3 people you want to sit, you know, right seat to
be your co-driver.
To be your co-driver and give you pointers. Think about that. Rob Blanton better be one of them. Anyways.
Hey, so does your mom make you get good grades? Like, what's the qualifications to be able to go to the races? Like, you got to have all your homework done? Like, what's all that stuff?
My mom always tells me, if you try your hardest, and I can tell you're trying your hardest, and if you still don't get good grades, then we will try something else to help you get good grades. But she always tells me, as long as I can tell you're trying your hardest and you're putting in the most effort, then that's all she cares about.
Did you know the answers to the third grader questions? Like, could you have won that?
There was a few of them I definitely knew. The shark one, I knew it was cartilage.
The Justin Bieber one, you knew where he was from.
I did not know where.
Come on,
Thank God. Thank God. Hey, so I got like a little tip for the racer. If Kaden ever wants you to do that, are you smarter than a third grader? The way to win, and I saw this because I saw Ronnie Anderson and RJ Anderson start executing this. They weren't very good at answering the questions, but they understood the game. You just say your name right away, no matter what, because you always have time to answer the question. If you get it wrong, who cares? You're going to get it wrong if you don't answer. So just be quickest on the gun, and then you win.
Got it.
So
I'll remember that.
Thank God when they asked that old school question, as soon as I said Rob, and then you jumped in, giving Maddie a hard time, I couldn't remember the name of the movie. I knew the movie.
Oh, I blew it for Maddie. I shouldn't have said that.
But I couldn't remember the name. I wanted to say New School, and then all of a sudden it came to me while you were yapping. So
dang it. I
thanks,
totally
George.
blew it for her. All right.
You good, Maddie.
You owe me some tacos, dude. I'll take it later. All right. So you have to do all this stuff, right? Like, what is a typical week for Casey Sims? Like, it's not easy preparing a race car. You have your dad's help and you have mom's help and stuff like that. But for a family to get to the races, it's literally a small feat to be able to get out there. You got to prep not just the race cars. You got to prep the truck. You got to make sure that you can get the trailer up there, all that stuff, right?
All your gear.
Yeah, you always it's definitely hard. Like what Kaden was saying, just these past couple weeks have been hard because I think it was like 7 races back to back in a row every weekend,
and other events like the adrenaline therapy.
But just being able to, it's hard because now that we have 2 cars, so we have to prep the stock car and the modified car, which it isn't even really modified. But it's definitely hard where we have to have like half the week we have to just dedicate to one car, get that car done. Then that second half we have to dedicate to that car. And then it's always coming down to we're loading the morning that we're supposed to be leaving and doing school, mixing school in with that. It's usually I do school most of my morning into about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then the rest of my day is trying to get the car done, working on the cars, and just doing whatever I can to be able to race that weekend.
Speaking of racing, we just got a social media post that Maddie posted that says Dustin Jones said, should the boys from the West Coast come out east? And I already answered yes.
Hell yeah. Good job, Maddie.
Yeah, way to go. We need her as our social media representative for the Dirt Life because she's doing a good job already.
No, she spends too much time like at Starbucks and stuff like that. She
is a little bougie for me.
Horrible.
That's pretty bougie, dude.
Did you see every time she took a sip, she had the pinky up?
Did she really steal pinky?
Yeah.
Full still pinky, or was it just like half still pinky?
No, she does not mess around at all.
100%.
And then she'd flip her hair and take a sip, finger up. I'm just, Jesus. Maddie.
So, I always talk about this, and to me it was phenomenal because growing up racing dirt bikes, it's easy. You just wash a dirt bike and then you go ride again, right? Like your bike gets clapped out, you replace some parts on it. Off-road racing or four-wheel racing and side-by-sides or any bigger truck is even worse, but it's not like that. It's like not just 2 more wheels and that much more work. It's like 10, 15 times as much work. So we used to put in to go to the Lucas off-road races. It was roughly 80 hours of work for 15 to 20 minutes of drive time. Do you guys have an understanding of how much work you're actually putting in? Like, are you able to see that as a young, side-by-side racer, how much work your family and you are putting in?
Yeah, I definitely can see it. We don't have like exact hours but it's every single day we're working. It doesn't matter if it's on the car, on social media, trying to send things to sponsors, trying to make things like just trying to talk to people to get into certain things. It's always every single day. It has to do something with racing.
So that actually leads me to 2 questions. Then the first one is like, do you mind working that hard? Like, do you appreciate it?
I really appreciate it, being able to see the outcome, and if whenever we can get to the top and seeing how hard we work to be able to get to winning the races and trying to get to there, it means a lot.
Do you still have the good understanding of that you don't have to win every race?
Yes.
Like you understand that going out there and doing your best, like just like your mom says with school?
As long as I can do my best and I feel good that I did try my best, then it makes me feel good, and everybody tells me, oh, you did really good here and there. But we always try to work harder, and I always try to pick different lines or just try to see different things to be even faster and faster and faster.
I've asked this to a couple people, including Kaden Danbury. Like, do you ever miss hanging out with your friends, or most of your friends are already at the races anyways?
I don't get to I get to see a lot of my friends still, but a lot of my friends and the family are at the races, and they're always there supporting and always just trying to make it right.
Yeah, that's super cool, man. We had a question come in. You don't have to talk about next year, but what do you think your future is? Adam Fitza said, Casey, what do you foresee in your future in off-road racing? Are you going to be, dude, and I got to preface this actually. Every single person on the planet that races off-road wants to drive a trophy truck. That doesn't matter who you are. That's always the coolest thing, right? But I still don't think that's the most valuable for marketing. I think these side-by-sides are going to far surpass that. So when you see your future in racing, does it still include side-by-sides, or does it go way off into the other realms?
I don't know if it's going to include side-by-sides. I definitely would like it to because of how big they've grown to be. Just since I've started racing, how big it's grown. I've always liked rallycross and watching those rally cars.
Those are cool.
Yeah, the four-wheel drive and all that has always interested me, and I've always liked to watch those videos. And I'm hoping that someday, maybe, I'll be able to get in the seat of one of those and try to drive one of those.
That would be sick. We've talked to so many professional drivers, like, Rob MacCachren level drivers, that they're all considering side-by-sides as well. So to keep them part of their program, because that's where the money is, right?
Yeah.
Like in dirt bike racing, it's with the factory teams. Well, here it's with off-road racing, it's with the side-by-sides. When you consider like doing those types of racing and you're out on the track in your side-by-side, clearly it's a lower level, slower car, but do you practice that like precision moving and stuff like that? Like
Definitely.
really, really focused driving?
Definitely. I always try to practice. That's why I like watching those videos, because they have four-wheel drive just like the Polaris Razors do, and watching them on the big wide open corners, how they turn into their corners and how precise they are. I always try to see if I can hit a corner like that, will it make me faster, and always try to practice that kind of driving.
Don't you think it's crazy how this is the first time they ever hit a corner, but they can go in into 80, 100 miles an hour and know exactly where to back it in to be in like an inch off the corner, like 100 feet later.
That's crazy.
It's super cool.
Those are some of the best drivers out there, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
They can do everything.
But that's why I like his answer so much, because that goal is a lofty, lofty goal, but that's something that's totally achievable for somebody that puts their mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be super cool.
I think we got to link you up with Jim Beaver and try and get you a spot over at the Dirtfish Rally School in Washington.
Yeah, they do the rally cross or rally training, right?
Yep.
Dude, that would be super cool. What kind of cars do they use up there? Do you know?
They got Subarus. They have all-wheel drive cars, and they have two-wheel drive cars.
Yes.
So the Subi
WRX STI, I think.
And then they have the that smaller SBZ or whatever those things are called.
I'll take whatever.
Yeah.
Right. That'd be so much fun to go do that. Do they have a track that you drive on up there too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a full-on. The Dirtfish is a rally school, and they do a lot of stuff. They do government contracts to teach special operations guys how to drive. Oh, yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And they sponsor Jim Beaver, so maybe we should
link him and Casey up.
I'll call him up and be like, hey, Casey Sims, make it happen.
Definitely.
Matter of fact, I think Method has a little deal with them too.
Yeah, I think so that they do.
Oh, I'm gonna have to call up Colby.
Dang, dude. It sounds like somebody's got all your sponsorship hookups right here. They can get you dialed in.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you know this guy, Rob? He's your new agent.
It's really about, opportunities have been presented to Warfighter Made through, just everything that we've been able to do. And you continue to make these connections and friendships and stuff like that. And it's pay it forward.
Dude, 100%.
Always give back, because, we wouldn't be sitting here right now if it wasn't for people that took care. Jason Merrill, Jason and Jeremy walking up to Polaris Razor at the Mint 400 in like 2014 to Jason DeFucia and just being like, hey, I want to introduce you to Rob at Warfighter Made. We'd been around for just over a year. And that literally 30-second elevator pitch to Jason DeFucia from the Merrill brothers of UTV Wolfpack talking about Warfighter Made, Jason DeFucia looked at me and said, all right, we're going to give you 2 razors.
Yeah, we're in.
What are you going to do with them?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of started, everything that you see in the back.
Yeah.
Which is why now it's important for me to when you see somebody with an opportunity, or you see somebody with the skill that doesn't necessarily have the opportunity, it's connect dots.
100%.
Hey, let's do this, let's do that.
Well, but you got to back it up. Like you don't connect the dot for somebody that doesn't want the dot to be connected or is doing it the wrong way. Like a good person like Casey would be an easy person to say connect the dots, because he really has the passion for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there, there's other people out there that, it's like, hey, your attitude right now doesn't warrant this. So
throwing your helmet after the race.
Yeah. So, connecting the dots for people who deserve it is kind of easy.
So that brings me up to another good point is like when I started, and I don't want to get off on marketing or sponsorship tangent, but when I started doing off-road racing, I was in the same mindset. You always got to win. And that's why I was telling you, just be happy even if you don't, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's so much outside of racing, like the camaraderie and all these different things. And I didn't really get it because all I wanted to do is go win, right? And I wanted to tell my story. Like you don't have to be the baddest racer always out on the track. But anyways, so now having the Dirt Life show and being able to understand how much these networks and connections really affect it, I would have changed everything that I did in my racing program just to make friends with everybody first.
Yeah.
And then think about racing second.
Yeah.
Do you ever think like that?
I always try to do what's best to try to grow racing. And I always see everybody, if there's somebody new at the track, I always try to go up and talk to them and be like, hey, like, what are you racing and what class are you in? And just trying to build new friends and make more friends and make more connections, because first, you never know who you're talking to. You never know that.
Yeah, exactly.
That could be the owner of a big company that you might want to get sponsored by, but not only for that, just become friends with the new people coming in.
Yep. And everybody changes jobs. Everybody. And the industry is small, so usually they just go from company A to company B. So
without a doubt.
You're totally right. We had a couple comments come in that said, well, we already heard the one, I like Maddie girl, but not always good to go to go after you're big cartwheeling. So who said that? That was Deirdre, I think it is, McCall. But he or she also said, thankful to have you out there with us. Keep doing awesome, Casey.
Oh, Deirdre's our girl, Navy veteran. A couple years ago.
Was she at Adrenaline Therapy?
She was at Adrenaline Therapy. She was volunteering in a flag station. 2 or 3 years ago, she was at the King of the Hammers. She was racing with another nonprofit that Warfighter Made supports called Desert Vet Racing. And they had a big wreck.
Oh.
And she broke her back. And she was life flighted out. She tells a story. It was actually Mitch Guthrie Sr. that I believe was first there to assist her. Mm-hmm. And then Bryce Menzies' dad came down with the helicopter, threw her in it, and flew her out.
Nice.
Broke her back, everything.
That's awesome.
Danny and I, Warfighter Made, had her out to a TAC gas event with her fiance. They're now married. And, she was talking about how difficult it is for her to bounce back. She has a little anxiety. She really loves off-road. They're big into Jeep, into the Jeep world, the crawling world. She loves off-road, but she's having some issues.
Right.
She wants to get back, but she has some mental blocks, right? And so at ATS this past Saturday, she had mentioned that she'd love the opportunity to ride with Rob Mac. But as she's saying it, she's getting all like, she's trying to shake it off.
Yeah.
Like, oh. And so finally the end of the day was kind of coming, and she'd been out working a corner as a flagger. And we sent Adam Fitza, actually went out there and replaced her, and she came back and she jumped in the Razor with Rob Mac. And, I thought they were going to do one lap, right? One lap, good. And they ended up doing 4 or 5.
Nice.
And at the very end, she was just like, hey, thank you. Thank you.
Got back on the horse, just like we were talking about.
She got back up on the horse.
Must have made her feel good, just like you felt after you rolled, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's super cool. And then, we got one other comment that came in saying Josh from TACMed said that he was bummed that he couldn't come out, but he's going to try to make it out for the next one. Keep the great work. So many people are grateful to have for all that you've done, Rob.
Yeah, whatever, Josh. You always talk about coming around, but here you never are. Never. We've got a whole bunch of TACMed info cards that we're giving out to vets, but
those things are
you're
super
never
cool,
here.
Man.
Never.
So going along with this whole, giving back to racing thing, do you think that over the next few years when you're growing your career, what's the path that you see yourself going? Do you just see, I'm going to go out there and try to win every race, or you're like, well, I'm just going to take it, see where it goes? How do you usually pursue your goals?
I just see me going out there. I want to just try my best at everything, do my best. And if that means I can win, then that means I can win, and that's great. But if that means I just keep pushing myself harder and harder and figuring out if I don't win or if I don't get on the box, just trying to figure out, okay, how can I get to that point where I'm trying to work my way up in it, and just looking at it as trying to do my best and trying to push as hard as I can.
So every time you guys come home from the race, whether you won or whether you got last or didn't finish, you guys have we could do this better?
Yeah, we always try, even if we win, we always try what can we do better? What can we do to the car, to my driving, to social media, to anything to better racing?
Yeah. So on the way home, you got a debrief that's just keep getting better as a person. What's crazy is those rides home always make for such a better person in the long run. Like, I can't tell you how much it means that your parents are letting you do this kind of stuff, because it really goes to show what a person's going to turn out like in the end. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 years from now, you're going to be, mid-20s, and you're going to go, wow, I remember when I was 16 years old driving home and my parents talked about this with me, and that changed the decision that I just made today.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool, like,
Yeah.
when you think about that, man. And you get to spend so much time with family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty respectful that you're able to, understand it now at such a young age.
Yeah, on my ride homes, I'm usually getting yelled at by Danny Navoa because I loaded the wrong day into the GPS, or I forgot to bring a tool, or I forgot the radio, or something like that.
That's okay, because, Danny yells at you on the way home. Then I come over to your house and eat dinner, and you yell at me for drinking your sparkling ice. So you were able to give it back.
Yes.
Pay it forward.
Yes.
So what, like Adam said, like when you see that like future, like, do you put milestones in like your brain, or like you write them down? Because I know I told Kaden on one show, if you ever want to achieve a goal, there's a 98% more chance it'll do it if you write it down.
I never write anything down, but I always have those goals in the back of my head. Like, okay, I want to try to win this next year, or next year I want to try to push harder at this, or I want to try to race this class one year. And I always have those goals in the back of my head of, okay, I want to try this, this, and this, and see if it makes it better or worse. And if it makes it worse, trying to fix that to make it better.
And do you do that same thing for all of the stuff that in everything that your program is entailed with, like social media? Okay, I have to have 500 more followers by the end of the year. Okay, I have to have new tie rod ends, or whatever they are, Heim joints and stuff like that, because those failed. Or like, do you do that for everything?
I try to do it for as much as I can. Like, for racing especially, it's okay, so next year I want to try to win this race, or next year I want to try to get this sponsor, or try to push myself to try to get certain things. And through social media, I always try that too, like try to put that in the back of my head. Okay, let's try posting these kind of videos and see if that can grow my following a little bit more.
Yeah, what do people like, kind of thing?
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty cool, man, because you got to really reverse engineer your whole program. It's like, he might not know it now, but it's like if you were going to start a business, like, who knows, let's just call it BF Goodrich Tires, since they're one of your sponsors. If you wanted to start a company like BF Goodrich Tires, you have to think about all this stuff all the time, and you're doing it right now at 16 years old. It's pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
Unless you're me, you just fake it till you make it.
Hey, a lot of us do that, Rob.
I don't know what I'm doing. I just care. So I just keep doing it.
Well, that's another thing, actually. So do you ever see other situations with fellow racers and stuff? You're like, well, that guy threw his helmet. He's out. Like, he's never going to get sponsors. Like, do you understand the bad stuff that happens too?
Yeah, I totally understand that. Like, trying to have that good mentality. Like, yeah, sure, this may have happened during the race, and yeah, sure, I may not have won this race or gotten on the podium this race, but always trying to have that good mentality of, like, just trying to keep a positive attitude getting through it, and knowing that in the end, your work will pay off.
Yeah.
Well, Kelsey's asking, Kelsey Fitz, Casey, what's your biggest obstacle racing so far? Obviously, non-COVID related. Is it time? Is it sponsors? Is it, what is it? What's the biggest obstacle?
I think right now a lot of it's time and trying to get the right sponsors. I have a lot of great sponsors that support me right now, but trying to get for later years, trying to get more and more. And time being like, okay, we got to prep the car these races, and we have a race this weekend, and we have to take this much time to just get the cars ready. And if it takes that much, oh well, it's going to have to take that much.
Yeah.
Do you ever, like I was talking about reverse engineering that, do you ever understand, like, okay, well, if I get all of these sponsors that I really need, right? Because every racer can't have enough sponsors, right? And every racer in their mind deserves all these great sponsors. But no matter how you look at it, it's never, ever enough. Even if you're the owner of your own company and somebody's prepping all your stuff for you and it's millions and millions of dollars that you're putting into it, it all ends up being the exact same thing at the end of the day. You could easily just break down on the first lap. So do you ever look at it like that? Like, I just have to really understand I'm doing something that's never a guarantee. It's just because I love it.
Yeah, definitely. It's just something that I love and I'm really passionate about. And if it doesn't take me to where I want it to take me in the future, oh, well, at least I can say I did something I loved and I was really passionate about it while I was doing it.
Yeah, so one of the things that I notice a lot about the younger people like yourself and Kaden and Maddie and everybody that's doing all these social media posts and stuff, a lot of it is not even necessarily like, well, it's all racing related because you all guys are all at the track together, but it's about having fun, right? It's because you guys are loving what you do. So if all of a sudden 2020 gets worse and 2021 is this total shit show, like, you still can say, you know what, I'm going to go out to the track and I'm going to do this with my friends. Even if there's no series running, if there's no races, there's no sponsorship value for anybody, all of it just goes to total, whatever. It's still something that you love, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, to me, that's super cool because that means he's in it for the right reasons.
Without a doubt. And I hate seeing some of the youth racers, and I hate seeing some of the racers in general put so much pressure on themselves that it starts to become a job, and it's not fun.
Exactly.
And I remember Greg Godfrey, we were texting back and forth. He was getting ready to set the world record for jumping a semi-truck.
Oh, that dude's nuts.
Over a gap, right? And I reached, it was at Evil Knievel days in Montana or something like that. And one of us reached out to the other one, and he's like, oh, I'm a little nervous, whatever the case may be. And I was just like, well, you know what? No one's shooting at you. And he's just like, leave it to you, Rob, to put things in perspective. So,
that's actually the perfect point to bring up. Like, it's always, the grass is always greener, right? But it's not. Like, what you're doing right now is awesome.
Thank you.
So I think it's pretty cool. Plus, like what Maddie was saying, like, she just had fun, Unfortunately, she had some bad, issues at the Parker race, but she had a good time.
Yeah.
And she's ready to race, next time.
Yeah.
And she's ready to beat everybody at Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader?
No, she did horrible at that.
Huh?
She did horrible.
Yeah, but she's a racer. She's coming back stronger next time, dude.
At a third grader?
You still want to beat her. I see how it is.
I whooped her ass at Smarter Than a Third Grader.
I got it now. I got it. I see where it is right
All right,
here.
go. Okay, have you been thinking about my question?
A little bit, yeah.
All right, maybe let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. 3 off-road racers that you would like to ride with, get pointers from.
That's a hard question. I'm trying to think of 3 ones that.
All right, Kaden, come on up here.
Because he could have some good answers. So
there's your mic.
Stand over here, Kaden, like in front of your mom, right there. So, be careful. So we can kind of see you a little bit, bud. But yeah. So, what do you think about 3 off-road racers that you would have, Kaden?
Thanks, Dustin.
Probably Andy McMillan, Dan McMillan, and
all your 4-wheel parts cohorts. Okay, I see where you're going with this.
and you.
I like me.
Oh,
You made
boy!
it on
I tell
the
you
list.
what. I tell you what.
Made it on the list.
Okay, well, I don't know what I'd be able to teach you. I'd be sitting next to you, be like, what should I be doing right now?
and he clearly made his sponsors happy with the politically correct answers as well.
The kid feels how he feels.
If I'm going to answer the question, I'm totally going off the wall. I'm not doing any off-road stuff. I'm going Lewis Hamilton can drive me in whatever he wants. And then I'm going to do one of the, what's that guy's name that drives the Red Bull air race planes? Like, he's like German or something. But he's like the awesomest dude ever. I would totally let him make me throw up in the back of an airplane for sure. Second. And then I would probably pick somebody that's like super high level, like a Jimmy Johnson or somebody, to see if they're actually a good driver.
So you're going just period instead of off-road. You're going just
who
can control a a machine.
After seeing Rob Mac, I see how skilled he was behind the wheel. I'm like, okay, I thought I was a good racer. I'm like literally a little ant on a hill compared to that dude. Like his level of driving skill was like phenomenally better than anybody I've ever driven with. So it made me think like, all right, if I'm going to go like top echelon off road, I'm going to go top echelon in the world.
And it was so funny watching him out there Saturday, just the smile on Rob Mac's face.
Yeah, exactly.
And his girl Amber kept coming up. She's like, you have no idea how much he's enjoying this. Yeah. And I actually heard him say that this was actually a really good time.
We put a GoPro on his car.
There's no pressure.
We had a GoPro on his car, and it fell off. Like, it was pointed at him and his I don't remember who was in it. I think Dusty was in it, or Dustin was in it. And so we had the GoPro fell off, and he told the passenger to pick it up. And so the passenger was picking it up, holding the GoPro, and then Rob takes his helmet off real quick. He goes, "Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Sorry, George, the GoPro fell down." And he's like smiling from ear to ear, just like what you were saying.
Yep. And basically what it was saying is like, there's no pressure. It's just, it's getting back to what you love about the dirt life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
All right,
There's
I'm
no
changing
pressure.
my answer. I want Kaden, Casey, and you.
Man, I'm racking them up.
Nailed it,
I'm
dude.
racking them up right now.
How about you, Casey? Who are you choosing?
Here we go.
I think Travis Pastrana is a good one.
Ooh, that's a good
Nice.
one. You just never know what you're going to get with that guy, though.
Exactly.
Ken Block, because the rally cars, that's something I've always liked watching him in his Gymkhana videos.
And he's got a serious skill set as well.
Yes. And what's my last one? And Rob.
Man, I'm batting 1,000 right now.
Talk about a smile on your face. That's pretty awesome. Thanks for coming up, Kaden. We really appreciate it, bud.
You're welcome.
So do you want to change your answer, or are you going to keep it with Rob?
Keep it with Rob.
Yeah, there you go, buddy.
Man.
Keep me mentally strong.
Yep.
I appreciate that, little man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's cool, Kaden. So if you get to go do all that, are you picking the same cars as what they're normally driving? Are you picking Travis Pastrana in his rally car, Ken Block in his rally car?
Yeah, I'm picking rally cars.
He's dreaming about rally cars.
I just want to throw out that Rob's lady Amber just chimed in. Rob had the biggest smile I've seen in a long time. So, Amber, thanks for coming out with Rob. Thanks for doing that for us and the vets and the family. That's big time.
We heard some conversations too, Amber, like after the event that were pretty phenomenal of how appreciative everybody was of you and Rob to come out. So thank you guys for making the trek.
And, of course, my boy, Danny Navoa. Rob, what a waste of a choice. But that's only because Danny has to drive with me sometimes, and he knows. 90% of the time. And actually, everyone's talking about, racing and what they want to do next. And obviously, everybody in off-road wants to move up to trophy truck. I've never driven a trophy truck, all right? But I tell you what, the funnest race I've ever done in my entire life was with Danny, a Class 11. A Class 11, for anyone who doesn't know, is a stock VW Bug. And it was the funnest time I've ever had. And a matter of fact, on the leg.
As a matter of fact, you couldn't pee for a week later.
It's not that bad because your speed is relative to the amount of suspension travel you have.
Exactly.
Right? So it's not like I'm doing 60 miles an hour with 4 inches of travel.
You're going like 3 then if you got like 2 inches of suspension. I'm not trying to downgrade this because I think you're gnarly for doing it.
Listen.
I just think it's crazy already.
Listen, it's not about the size, George, okay? All right? It's about having fun, okay?
I definitely agree with that.
In a Class 11, it was the funnest time to this date. That funnest race you've ever been in.
Funnest race. I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know about the funnest. I have fun in all my races. It's really, I don't really have like a most fun race that's in the back of my head, but I always just try to think of all my races are really fun to me.
Well, that Class 11 at the Mexican 1000, that was a highlight. And Danny and I only drove one leg of it.
Are you trying to do a Class 11?
My mom used to race Class 11 bugs.
Dude.
Actually.
Bananas.
Carla, I never knew that.
Dude.
Put on the headset. Come on.
I'm definitely not trying to do Class 11s, dude.
Come on, we got to hear about this.
I'm going to stick with some nice, good suspension.
They
gotta hear
actually
about
still
this
have
with
the
the
car
Polaris razors.
that they used to race.
What?
Really? Is
Yeah.
it like sitting in the garage somewhere?
No, we actually, whenever we got to the desert, we like to
Carla,
drive
go ahead
around.
and stand next to Casey. Oh, you got your nice shoes on, too.
Thank you.
So, you really raced a Class 11?
I did. Yeah,
You're bananas.
I did. For 2 or 3 years, 2 or 3 seasons. Yeah, on an all-girls team.
Oh,
Peralt Motorsports. Shout out to
Nice.
Peralt Motorsports.
yeah.
Yep. PMS Racing was the name of our team. Yeah. Yeah.
Go figure.
It was great. It was great fun. Casey was like 2, I think, when we started that. So he used to ride in the chase truck.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. We raced the more series.
More, yeah.
Yeah, more series.
Talk about the dirt life, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they're not around anymore. But yeah, out in Plaster City. So it was
That
great
is
fun.
Awesome.
That's
Awesome.
pretty cool. So
Yeah.
now you got a Class 11 friend.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody's my friend, but there's only a few of us that can actually say Class 11, baby.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Danny,
So if we want to join that group, we got to drive or ride in the Class 11? Whew, I don't know, man.
I've driven the bug before.
With a skill set like Casey, like if you can drive smooth, I might get in there with him. I don't know, man. I just don't
does
feel
that
like
thing
wrecking.
still run?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not our car. The Peralt family owns that car, and they've got a place out in Nakatia, and they keep the car out there now. And and
Dude,
all
because-
the
have
I was gonna
all
say,
the
that needs-
grandkids and kids, they've all had their go at it, and they've all
Could
driven
that
it
thing
now.
make it around the track at Adrenaline Therapy?
So the Class 11
I
that
think
we
it
drove at the Mexican 1000,
Yeah.
we got to test drive it at Glen Helen Raceway. Danny and I both took turns,
Holy smokes, really?
yeah, and it was, I mean, we got pictures of us airing that thing out to the point where actually, I'm trying to find my phone right now.
That's nuts, dude.
George Earl, who is a Vietnam veteran, 3-time Purple Heart recipient, who is also a very accomplished off-road racer.
Yep.
Raced numerous Baja 1000s, numerous
Didn't we talk
championships.
to him when we
at
had
the last time we were here
the Warfighter takeover?
in the Warfighter takeover, and George pulled me aside, and after we did a couple laps, and he's like, "Hey, I want to tell you something. If that car is hurt, or if you're hurting when you land that car, you're killing the machine. Stop
Yeah.
doing that."
Gotcha.
So I was just like, "Yes."
So it probably
yes,
teaches
George.
you, Carla, it probably teaches you some good driving skills then, because you got to keep momentum, you
It
got to
totally
keep it
did.
smooth, you got to keep it like on plane.
Yeah, yeah,
How-
it totally did.
Awesome.
There was a team that we had five girls, and we would switch off co-driving and driving, so everybody got a chance in the car, and we were pretty good. We won a lot of races.
What
We
did the
won-
sticker kit look like?
you know what? We didn't even. The car wasn't even wrapped. It was just. It's
It's a lime
a
green.
lime green kind of. I think they call it chartreuse is the name of the color. Anyway, it's like this lime.
You
green
guys
car.
are bougie like Maddie.
We're getting all
No.
fancy
Yeah.
now.
No,
Dude,
not
you
at
guys
all.
are so extra.
Not at all, actually. And then just stickers of whoever helped us. There, we didn't have any big sticker
Dude,
kit or anything.
That's the dirt life for sure. Holy crap, dude! So this is we got to show our audience this picture. You guys are like 4 feet in the air or something. That's crazy.
And if I remember correctly, that's actually Maddie Wedeking and I. She wanted to go for a ride.
Dude, that's bananas. You guys
That's
are airing
awesome.
that thing out. That looks
That's
like it's at
awesome.
Glen Helen in the Volkswagen Bug, just wide open.
That's exactly what it was. And that's the
God
one
dang, dude.
That's the one that George Earl came up to me and he's just like, "If that's hurting you, you're killing the machine. Knock that off."
So looking at that picture though, like we don't get very much higher in the side by sides than that. You guys must have
No.
been hauling the mail down that straightaway.
It was fun. It was
Dude,
great.
props.
Great car. It was built by Dirt Cheap Racing or something like that. And then
Is it easy to build those cars, Carl?
I don't know. I didn't have to build the car.
That's crazy.
I was really, really lucky that because the Peralt family they took very, very good care of us. And my husband participated in prepping the car and breaking down the car because we got protested a lot because we were a girls' team and we
crush it, guys.
did good. And so we got protested a lot. So they had to break down the car at the end of a lot of the races.
I feel like you're at a Lucas race getting protested every 5 seconds. That's so funny. Okay, so I guess Casey and I should change our answer, what we want to go, like who we want to race with. We're just going with Carla and Rob in the Class 11.
So we got a couple people, Amber, Carla and Rob B, let's do a Class 11 race together. I've always wanted to race a Class 11. Rob Mac has always thought I'm nuts.
I'm with Rob Mac, thinking she's nuts, but you guys are kind of convincing me. You're kind of giving me a little bit of a positive vibe about this.
So much fun.
It was
Those
fun.
things are fun.
And now that
It was fun.
Blake Wilkie and the Shreddy Life is into it, and he's bringing a whole new.
His is not a Class 11. That's almost a freaking trophy truck, dude. That thing is nuts.
He has a Class 11 bug.
He does have one?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, no, it is a Class 11.
I thought you were talking about the big bug.
No.
The Matador with
he
Mal.
has a Class 11.
Yeah.
And he's bringing a new light to it, and it's making it more popular, and it's such a fun class. So
It is.
much fun.
It is.
So
All right.
much
Well,
fun.
maybe I'll get in one on a smooth track.
Well, Tom Mangione of Mag 7 gave us the opportunity to drive, Danny and I, taking care of vets, and that was because of Admiral Mike. And, man, hopefully it happens again.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And kudos to you, too, for getting out there and racing that bad boy.
Thanks. It
Now
was
we see
fun.
where Casey.
Man, yeah, I never knew that. That's so awesome.
Yep.
He's far better than I ever dreamed of being.
I thought you were just the big fan, but you are actually the racer. That is, man.
She's a big fan, too.
You learn something new every
This
day.
guy right here.
Of that, exactly. That's what I'm saying. The number one fan of this guy right
Yeah.
here.
Well, thanks, Carla. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you guys. Thank you.
Did you know your mom was such a badass?
Yeah.
Shit, duh.
Yeah, that's easy. I knew she was totally awesome.
Yeah.
Does bring up a good point, though, is like, no matter what you drive, even if you take a old beat-up El Camino with big old tires, you can still have some fun in it, right?
I tell Adam Fitz all the time. It's you got to set yourself apart by being just a little bit different out there. And when Adam introduced me to off-road, it was Steve Wheels in that Odyssey or that Pilot of his.
Dude, he shredded too.
Right?
And he was in a wheelchair.
And he was in a wheelchair, right? But because you're watching all these side-by-sides go by that all looked exactly the same, and then all of a sudden you heard this thing that sounded different than everything else, and then it flew by you and it looked different than everything else, then all of a sudden you're kind of like, that's
my
rad.
guy. Yeah, that's my guy.
I like that guy, right?
And he was racing the unlimited class, and he was still giving him a run for the money.
He was.
Yeah.
He was. So, it's always about being just a little bit different. What can you do to set yourself apart in a field of Karens? Don't be a Karen.
Yeah, definitely
right?
don't be a Karen.
Set yourself apart, and that was one way that Steve Wheels did it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we go with this whole 2020 vibe. Like, since racing has been so weird this year, the new marketing thing is to have Casey think outside the box and do something cool.
Let's do it.
That's pretty badass, man. I still am unsure if I'm going to get into Class 11, but
Dude, so much
maybe.
fun.
All right, so we're going to wind down the interview real quick here. We got some rapid-fire questions that we're going to do, so Rob and I will pass this back and forth, and we'll ask you these questions. But one of the things that I wanted to talk a little bit more about was we kind of brushed on it a little bit. We just had your mom up here. How important do you think it is to make sure that you understand the family support that you're getting right now? Like, let's just say in 10 years, you're a professional racer on a professional team. The side-by-side racing is like factory, like dirt bikes is. You can get a factory Yamaha contract, a factory Polaris contract. Where do you think, like, the level of understanding is of what you've been given, like, right now compared to what you'll be then?
I really understand how much it means a lot to me to have both my parents there and helping me with everything. No matter what I need help with, they're always there helping me. And I will always thank them for always, even if I'm on a pro level and they're just coming to watch the race, I will always thank them for getting me to where I am, because they do help with everything every single day.
That's pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
Does mom help with homework still too?
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, because she probably, like, if we asked the moms the third grader questions, they'd probably nail them so easy. We have to go up to, like, at least 12th grade with them, right?
At least. I also want to, put into question, I think your mom does some of your social media posts too.
She does.
Yes, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I was like, them race reports are a little too detailed for just, Casey to be throwing them out there.
Plus, social media, you have to be on it so much. It's, like, impossible to keep up with. Like, I don't even know how we do it. Like, I can't even look at other people's social media because I have to be posting so much. It's like, it's crazy. Like, well, you know how it is. I'm trying to update your guys'. All right, so you want to do the rapid fire stuff right now?
Yeah.
All right, cool, man. Well, actually, before we do it, how do people get a hold of you again? CSims188 on Instagram?
CSims188.
All right, and then did we already have him thank his sponsors? Because I think he shares some sponsors.
We have not.
Well, why don't you go ahead and do that, bud?
Let's get into
I have
that.
a lot of great sponsors. I don't want to forget any, so I'm going to pull them up.
Okay, cool. So when you thank these sponsors, though, like most of the time when I think of a young racer thanking the sponsors, like they're just starting to get into it, right? Like you're starting to have these relationships and stuff. So most of these guys are going to be with you for a long time coming up. It's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
So who is it?
Okay, so Benchmark Performance, Method Race Wheels, GBC Motorsports, Crow Enterprises, Factory UTV, Roll Designs, Baja Designs, Gates Belts, Candle Motorsports, Super ATV, Bikeman Performance, PRP Seats, Elka Suspension, Got Sam Performance, Energy Coil, Rugged Radios, Tire Blocks, Maxima Racing Oils, JMR Performance, Race Team Sights, Oceanside Driveline, Dirt Rider Designs, Polaris Razor, Crown Performance Products, Peralt Motorsports, and Vision Canopies, and both my parents.
Good Lord.
Crap, man. Woo! I feel like that's like Lewis Hamilton was one of my answers. I feel like that's more than Lewis Hamilton has, dude. That's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's bitching, though. That goes to show how well he executes his program if that many people want to be involved. So
Exactly.
keep the hard work going, bud.
Thank you.
All right, so we're going to go through some rapid-fire questions here. The first one, dunes or the river?
River.
Dang, that was pretty easy. All right, what's the next one, Rob?
The next one is three-wheeler or a quad?
Quad.
Ooh, that's pretty good. I'm going to switch this one up. Barsha or Webb?
Webb.
Ooh, you're going like, okay.
I go
so
Barsha.
This is a profiling question, though, because Barsha is just the wild man. He's just on the pipe the whole time, right? Webb is like the race tactic guy. Like he's a smart racer, right? So the reason that we ask these questions is because we're trying to get a little bit more in depth to understand who the person is. That means that his racecraft out on the course is going to be executed different than a wild man. So,
well, when we were doing the Supercross stuff, Barsha and Pike were able to. JRC, Suzuki, we were able to do a little stuff with them.
Oh, right on.
And then seeing Barsha lose his ride and then come back as basically a fill-in.
Yeah.
He filled in on Yamaha.
Oh,
and
yeah,
started
yeah.
winning races. I was like, that's my man. That's somebody that is pushing through adversity, like losing your factory ride, being called up as a replacement, and then just crushing it. That's a lot of pressure because now you're like, I got to do this.
Yeah. So knowing a little bit about the inside stuff that goes on with all that, one of the main reasons, I'm going to call it 98% of the reason that Justin's able to keep this thing going is his support mechanisms that are around him. He got married, so that's a good support mechanism. But he hired a guy named one of my friends, Tom Danielson, to be his trainer. So he's a mental coach and a physical trainer. And that guy has changed his life like immensely. So when you talk about surrounding yourself with good people, that's almost better than winning the races because it pays off so much in the end in
Without
the future.
a doubt.
All right, what's the next one, Rob?
What's your favorite food?
Uh-oh.
Probably Mexican food.
I think that's probably like the 99th percentile.
It really is. Yeah, we've had some people say like Italian and stuff. Oh, you know what? Sushi comes up pretty often though too.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, sushi's pretty
it's
good.
It's a hard between Italian and Mexican food.
Yeah, sushi's pretty good, but like
It
2020 totally jacked up the sushi game because nobody's trying to eat sushi these days.
Well, the family and I lived in Okinawa, Japan for a while, and I mean it was literally out of the ocean onto the plate.
You can't beat that.
Well, there are some really good places around here, but it's still, and it's so cheap in Japan when it's right there. So,
Little Smokies or pizza rolls?
Pizza rolls.
he doesn't know what Little Smokies are.
You don't know what Little Smokies are, do you?
No.
Oh.
See, that's a grown man question.
What?
Who wrote these?
A grown man.
Jeez.
All right, what's the next one?
I'm going to skip that one. Favorite soda?
Probably Fanta orange soda.
Ooh.
Dude.
Fanta.
So I
Don't
got
you wanna?
I got another
Fanta?
story about that. So like for whatever reason, like I've always liked Diet Dr. Pepper, right? Like but when I got my head smashed, I couldn't get enough orange soda. Like, it was like that whole, like, when you're pregnant, you want freaking banana pickle ice cream, whatever the girls get. I couldn't get enough orange soda. Like, I could drink orange soda and just pour it all. I could take a shower in orange soda, and it wasn't enough. Like, I wanted orange soda, and now, like, I feel like I'm getting better because I don't even drink it. Yeah. So that's my gauge on whether I'm better or not, is how much orange soda I want.
Let's talk about this this pickle ice cream, whatever you just said.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
We'll get back to it. All right. Uggs or Crocs?
Crocs.
Man, I don't.
Yeah,
I skipped that one by accident.
Okay, that's cool. I'll go back to it. So the Uggs or Crocs thing is another profiling question. So we like it when you answer Crocs because you know how to put Crocs in four-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
You, Rob?
Yeah, the little back strap.
Yeah. So most people don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
that and I've watched your show a couple times, so.
Okay, cheater.
Casey lays it all out there for me.
Way to go, cheater boy. All right, so if you could have one special power, what would it be?
What would it be? Maybe super speed.
Super speed?
Yeah.
Like running speed?
Yeah.
Like you could just like dart past cars going down the highway?
Yeah.
Dude, that would be pretty legit because then you don't have to deal with any Southern California traffic.
I pretty much do that like Dumb and Dumber anyways. I'm sitting in my car like, I'm running incredibly fast. No?
Like on Office Space?
Just me?
Like on Office Space when they're all sitting in California traffic and that girl with the walker, or that old man with the walker like kept passing by.
All right, next question. We kind of already talked about the most memorable race, so I'm going to skip it. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Dude, this one's a good one, though.
I'm trying to think of this one.
Like, if you had to go to the ice cream shop right now, what would you get?
So there's one really weird one at Cold Stone. It's cotton candy. That's my favorite.
You're going cotton candy?
Yeah.
What are you going, Rob?
So when I was a kid, like rainbow sherbet was my jam.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
But then, like, if you bring up Cold Stone, then I always get the strawberry rendezvous. Hell yeah. Little pieces of white chocolate chips. Oh, I tell you what.
I'm not even going to say anything. Like, I was just getting so weirded out by how he answered it. Like, it was a little too much for me. All right, so
You're talking about bathing in orange soda, and I can't have a strawberry rendezvous? Whatever, George. Whatever. Ask your next question.
Ski or snowboard?
Snowboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Those are easy. Netflix or YouTube?
YouTube.
What's the reason you like YouTube better?
I just always have used YouTube to watch like videos. Like I always like RC cars and watching those kind of videos, or mountain bikes.
That's another grown man question, or a grown person question. Like, I'm on kind of that whole anti-Netflix kick right now too because of the crap they're doing. So I'd be more YouTube. Burrito or taco?
Burrito.
Dang, what kind?
Just bean, cheese, and rice and sour cream.
Bean, cheese, rice. That actually sounds pretty good. I thought you were more going to answer taco. That's crazy. Supercross or motocross?
Supercross.
Really? I totally thought you were going motocross because you like the dirt series and works and stuff.
I like the Supercross because the big jumps and the tight corners. That's why I like the Supercross better.
Then I would picture you more for like Lucas short course guy than like in the short track, like with the bigger jumps and stuff. But that's crazy.
If Casey was here, he'd be fist bumping you right there.
Yeah,
he's a Supercross guy.
All about Supercross.
What I think we already answered this too, but what other form of racing would you like to try?
Yeah, and we always prep
rally.
Yeah,
nice.
We always. What are you trying?
MotoGP.
Dude, that would be pretty sick. Those guys are gnarly though. Yeah. Like if you eat crap on those things, you're going for a wild ride.
Or Monster Jam.
There, dude,
Monster
my boy.
Jam.
I always thought that the boat racing, the offshore boat racing, would be pretty cool too. Like, cause you're hauling, but when you're on water and you're hauling that much,
you ever see those guys wad up?
Yeah.
And how they skip along the water? I am not about that.
Yeah, because it starts feeling like cement when you're going that fast.
It does feel like cement when you're going that fast.
Oof. We went and watched the Jet Ski World Finals when we were in Havasu. That was pretty cool. All right, so last question, man. Biggest question of the night: chips and guacamole or French fries and ranch?
Chips and guacamole.
Dude, we just became best friends. Good job, bud. All right, yeah. So,
did you just say fries and ranch?
Yeah, I switched it up, dude.
Oh, okay.
Just a little surprise.
Why does he look like a bougie dude? Is it because of the blonde?
Okay, so the question says French fries and ketchup. The reason I actually switched it up is because I don't want to say ketchup anymore because I don't want people to think that they're eating like super unhealthy. Like ketchup is the worst, dude. It's all sugar. There's nothing in it. It's sugar with a little bit of tomato coloring.
So let's change it to ranch, probably the next worst freaking condiment in the world.
Well, I just don't like sugar, so.
Okay, all right. Anyways.
It's a little bit better. Okay, well, good job, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. That was awesome.
Thank you.
You really did a good job. You answered all the questions. I don't know how you felt like, coming on the show and stuff, but did you feel more nervous doing this or going to the races?
Probably going to the races.
Yeah.
Whenever I try to do my interviews, I always just try to like not think about it and try to make it more of a conversation rather than try to script it and figure out what I'm going to say beforehand.
I think that's a great way to do it.
And then we always do this like with all the kids, is this little loosey-goosey thing.
Yeah.
Loosey-goosey.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Adam Sandler taught me that.
Loosey-goosey?
Yeah.
And what'd you say? Strawberry what?
Happy Gilmore. Strawberry Rendezvous, dude. Get off my freaking ice cream choice, all right?
All right. We'll have to see what everybody else thinks of your Strawberry Rendezvous.
Call me, bro.
So, Justin Bieber, call Rob for a Strawberry Rendezvous. Well, thank you guys very much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate everybody tuning in. Next week, we got our buddy, another youth racer. Well, I don't want to call him youth now because he's professional, but Ronnie Anderson's going to come on the show. He's going to join us. We're going to be back in the Arizona studios for the Dirt Life, having some fun. I want to make sure that we thank all of you guys for everything that you guys have done for us. You guys are our lifeblood, being on our audience. We have some fantastic people that are here today, family members and obviously friends. It was really awesome to see everybody come in and support Maddie and Kaden, obviously Casey, talking about all of the Warfighter stuff that we did over this past week, man. It's just phenomenal how much camaraderie is in all of this off-road stuff, dude.
Any vets out there, you want to be a part of this, warfightermade.org or at warfightermade on social media. Hit us up.
Definitely hit them up. And even if you just want to come out and support, you can come out and bring your vehicle. You can take some of these veterans for rides and do that stuff. Like, it's so cool to see all of the smiles on everybody's faces. So, again, thank you guys very much for joining us. You guys are our lifeblood. Kelsey said, great show, guys, giving everyone a glimpse into the off-road family. Yeah, and it really is a family. So, like I said, again, thank you very much. Thank you to all of our show sponsors. We're going to let Rob list his sponsors. But thank you to Shock Therapy. Thank you to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products. Thank you, Rugged Radios. Thank you, KMC Wheels, Zollinger Racing Products, and Solderweld for all being such a great partners with the show. We couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are our lifeblood as well. So, Rob, man, thanks for being the co-host and allowing us to do it here.
Well, I'd just like to say, Casey, thank you for relinquishing your co-host seat to me. And, you know, it's always great sitting next to this cat. And
appreciate it, dude, and thank you so much for that award, dude. It really means a lot. I'm not going to cry on the show. I'll cry later at the hotel.
Well, it's not something you can really thank me for because you're the one that did it. You know,
I would have never earned that award unless you came out with the award. Casey would have never earned the award unless you came out with the award.
You never would have earned the award if you hadn't gotten back up on that horse and freaking.
If I hadn't gotten my head smashed.
If you hadn't gotten your head smashed, almost died, and then came back in glorious fashion.
Well, thank you very much for having it, dude, because some of the stories, I really appreciate you giving it to me. I hope that my story can help a lot of other people in the future. Casey's story helped me after hearing about it. Obviously, Donna and everybody else that's won at Katie Vernola. So it's really cool to have that thing going around and being able to be won every year. So, like I said, thank you very much for all the stuff that you do. But you couldn't do it without the people that help you as well.
Yeah, for us, it's Polaris Razor, Lucas Oil, 4-wheel parts, BFG is a huge one again. BFG just came back on, sponsoring another year of Adrenaline Therapy Saturday. And Rugged Radios, Baja Designs, Wire Care. If you guys need anything for managing your wires from zip ties to tape to shrink wrap, wirecare.com. Check them out. PRP seats. We have a great relationship with PRP. Kicker and Odyssey battery. You know, everyone's out there helping us out. So,
well, we're gonna have to get like our sponsorship game going. We got to compete with him, dude. He's got like 3 pages of sponsors, so we're gonna have to keep elevating our game.
Definitely, I'm feeling a little pressure right now.
Well, you got some good partners too, Rob. So I really appreciate everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you guys very much for supporting Rob's efforts in Warfighter Made. Thank you for supporting the Dirt Life Show. We love you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to the Dirt Life Show.